after 1 hour. Started the second over, Aslan Jaffrey on strike against Kush Kelani. Kush, quite the handy bowler, likes to open with a new ball.
Nice start from Kush, forcing Aslan to play square. Aslan really likes to get at the ball, really likes to hit big. So we'll see. He'll probably look to get stuck in, try not to give his wicket away cheaply. Tight bowling from Kush once again.
Yeah, Kush is one of those bowlers who likes keeping it tight, doesn't like to give the batsman much leeway. Makes him quite the tough bowler to face up front when you're looking to get your eye in. What's Aslan's plan going to be over here? Oh, pokes at it. Oh, just over the backward point fielder. Will it skid away for 4? No, it won't. Slows down the outfield, which is a bit wet because of the rain from last night. And another double over there. Do you think Aslan will look to go hard after Kush and try to get him off his rhythm?
I think it's just how Aslan plays, from what I've seen. He generally just looks to go hard, but if I were him, I would probably look to preserve my wicket, not do anything silly too early. Yeah, and that's a sensible shot. I think generally if Kush puts it a bit up there, he's going to look to play big shots and back himself. And he's a great player, so I'm sure he'll pull it off.
It's an interesting length from Kush as well, keeping it a bit back, forcing the batsman back with the new ball as well, coming onto the batsman hard. Can be tough to get forward and hit it away. Another block from Aslan there, looking a bit frustrated. Might be looking to get one away and hopefully get the momentum shifting towards the Verdant Vikings. But he should keep in mind that they have Roshan in the back, who's been in excellent form and can strike rather large 6 in the small ground. Or one full over there, but yorked himself and blocks it down. And that's another good over from Kush, just 2 runs from it. We're 8 for 1 after 2.
Do not come to Alpha Omega, seriously, and here's why. Because you will feel so relaxed. Because you will feel so good and get addicted. Because they make you so flexible and injury-free. And what's next? Superpowers? So avoid Alpha Omega if you don't want to feel good and flexible every day.
Bed off, no run. This is an example of something Manish does exceptionally well. Uses feet to get to the pitch of spinners and doesn't really take too many risks.
Nicely bowled by Rithwik, nicely negotiated by Manish. Gets the quick single, puts Aslan on strike.
I think it's going to be an interesting partnership here because Manish doesn't look to take his risks until he's really set in, whereas Aslan is someone who goes hard at the bowler. I think that balance would work out well for the Verdant Vikings. They look to take advantage of the power play where we have 2 spinners bowling. Quite the interesting strategy by the Singrisers. You think it's target against Aslan, trying to get him out early?
Yeah, absolutely. But he's looking to play sensibly. I think he's resisting the urge to go big, especially with the fall of the early wicket in the first over. But yeah, I think Manish generally bats very conservatively until he's very set, and then he starts going ridiculous. There we go. There's a big shot, but it's fielded at cover, extra cover, and they negotiate the quick single.
Good work there by Tawagune. Quite the quick outfield, so missing that probably would have been a 4. But again, as you can see, Aslan looking to go after anything that's slightly fuller. But you made a good point about him playing relatively sensible, which is something that good players do. They know when to dial it back and when to put on the gas. So it's going to be interesting to see what Manish does here in response to this. We have the extra fielder coming on the offside. And he punched it through the covers for a single to the sweeper. Very sensible batting from Manish as always.
Yeah, Manish likes to punch at it really nicely, and he does that shot so well. He doesn't really take a risk, doesn't really nick it. So it'll be interesting to see. I assume they'll be trying not to put it all the way up to Aslan. Aslan looks to play big if it's full, so they'll probably try to put it good length, a shot of a good length, and try and make him play on the back foot. That's a terrible ball there. I think it might be a no ball. Yes, it's called a no ball by the umpire, and I think it goes for 6 perhaps, just about over the boundary, or perhaps it's a 1 bounce and 4.
Umpire signaling that is Smart Tech 4. We unfortunately don't have the sponsors later. We have a Pro Mac 4 over there. My apologies. It's a bit difficult trying to keep track of 2 phones at the same time, but an excellent shot from Aslan, and he has a free hit here as well. So he's likely going to look to capitalize, go straight or over cow corner. How does Aslan respond here? Loops it, and an excellent shot all the way. And we have our first Geotech 6 of the game. Excellent stuff from Aslan here, and he's off and running.
Yeah, sort of loose delivery earlier from Rithwik, and then he tries to compensate, I think, by trying to catch Aslan out with the slower one. Aslan up to the task, moves his feet slightly, plays straight back and over the bowler. Pretty big 6 there. So, good over for the Verdant Vikings, and now Manish is on strike, and let's see what they do next.
They got a 6 from Manish. I'm sure that's it. And they forgot to put a 4. They put 5 actually. Kush continues to Manish over here. Good last over. They got 11 runs on the last ball. Manish defends it. Again, example of sort of differing tactics over here. The bowler's looking to bowl a bit quicker and flatter at Manish, trying to keep him locked down. Whereas with Aslan, they're looking to loop in, probably hoping that he miscues one to one of the deep fielders and gets out early.
Oh, really nice and quick from Kush. Manish attempts a cut, misses, keeper collects. Yeah, Kush I think generally keeps it really flat and sort of pushes it into the batsman, while Rithwik is willing to try some variation. Be interesting to see how this challenge matches up. There he goes, Manish tries to go for it. Might be a catch in the deep. Oh, tough luck, really tough catch. And fielder drops the catch.
Was a very tough one, and good work over there by Kush. He has a wonderful ability to mix it up and occasionally toss it up, and batsmen who tend to be locked down tend to play loose shots, as you saw in that case. Manish just splicing it towards mid-off and close to being out, but he gets away with it, and that's not something the Singrisers would want to see. Excellent shot there from Aslan. Slice it away for a massive Geotech maximum over point. And looks like Aslan has got the momentum on his side here, and he's going to be looking to take on the Singrisers bowlers. Kush is not going to be happy with that. Not much he really did wrong other than firing it a bit too full.
Yeah, I think to Aslan, you got to keep the length back. Whenever you're bowling full, Aslan's looking to go straight up and over the field, and he's really doing it really well. He's got a lot of confidence right now. He's hit, I think, 4-6-6. So he's definitely looking to amp up the gear. Let's see what he gets up to next ball.
was a very good shot, got under it, and used the pace to actually get it over the boundary. Some good batting here by Aslan. And we see a change in the field. We see mid-wicket coming in, and we have deep, and we have a sweeper going out on the offside. So perhaps a change in tactics from Kush. Oh, we have a slip coming in. And we have 3 people square on the offside. Perhaps Kush is going to fire it over here.
Yeah, as expected, he sort of pulled the length back. Probably with this field on the offside, I think he's probably looking to get Aslan to maybe cut, and hopefully there's a catch at point or backward point. What do you think, Rohan?
Yeah, that's luckily going to be his plan, but stays in line and hits over to square leg for another pro Mac 4. It was excellent batting from Aslan over here, just waiting for the loose delivery. And that's another end to another fantastic over with 33 for 1 after 4.
My bad. New bowler coming in, Vedant Gupta. Plays for Singapore under-19, I hear, from the tournament sponsor, tournament organizer, Athara Pradhan.
It's going to be interesting to see how they approach Manish over here. Manish is likely to look to rotate the strike, get Aslan back on strike, who's got off and running, and try to keep the momentum going to take advantage of the last 2 overs of the power play. We have Vedant steaming in. First one back of a length. Oh, and Manish is gone. Excellent start. A bit of extra bounce as Manish pokes at it, and he's gone. He's going to be disappointed not to capitalize here. And with 33 for 2 after 4.1.
Interesting run-up, Vedant. I have not quite seen that kind of run-up where he kind of stops in the middle, starts again. It was kind of peculiar to see, and I wasn't expecting such a good ball off the bat. Nonetheless, he gets it to bounce off the surface, and Manish gets caught by the wicketkeeper. I believe Neil's come into the crease. Really stylish batsman. But Verdant Vikings in a precarious spot, 33 for 2. But they still have Aslan in 23 of 13. He's been batting really well. First ball to Neil, sort of skies it through square leg. Gets the quick single. Oh, converts it to a double actually.
A bit of good running over there. But it looked as if he was expecting the ball to come on a bit quicker, so perhaps Vedant is not fully warmed up. Maybe that's what did Manish in, expecting the ball a bit quicker and ended up playing it early. So he just managed to get a faint edge through to the keeper. Is that Atharva Gune, the skipper, keeping? Or is that him at mid-wicket?
Attempted a quick single. Aslan sends Neil back. Looks like it's not really coming onto the bat so easily. Looks like it's kind of bouncing and it's hard to negotiate. What do you think? Do you think the pitch is going to present problems for the batsman, Rohan?
Generally from my experience in these morning games, a bit of dew and sometimes rain tends to make the pitch a bit softer. So the ball tends to stick in it and ends up being a bit harder to play than you'd expect. It can be a bit challenging, especially in a format like this, T20s, where you want to get something like a 180 or a 200 on a ground like this, where you want to be taking calculated risks to take advantage of the power play but not losing your wickets. Vikings are already 2 down, so they won't want to lose too many wickets. Another ball just bunted to the leg side for a quick single. But this is smart batting over here, just looking to rotate and get off strike. And this would just keep the run ticking along, and they'll hope to catch up later. Aslan is looking good here and will probably want to bat through till the 15th or 16th over at the very least.
Yeah, Neil looking to, I think, play his release shot through square, trying to flick it up and over. He's really good at that shot, tries to get it away. But it keeps coming up, I think. He's not really expecting that bounce and negotiated well for the single.
What's Vedanta's plan gonna be here? We have 3 square again, so he's likely to keep it back of a length, try to get Aslan to slash. Hopefully with the slowness of the pitch, he might poke at it and nick one through the keeper like Manish. Seeing his back would be very good for the Singrisers here. Again, back of a length, just negotiates it down to deep third for a single. That's good batting by Aslan over there.
Yeah, really sensible from Aslan. I imagine, like, with this field set, it looks like Vedant is just going to try and keep the length, a bit of back of length. And then he's going to try and get them to play square. There's a lot of fielders square. So yeah, predictable field change. There's someone coming into square leg now, I suppose, to stop Neil from trying to play that flick.
Slightly fuller, slashes across, and appeal from behind the wickets. Neil looking a bit flustered, likely the situation getting to him, but he'd have to remind himself to stay calm because Aslan's going well and look for singles over here. This is quite the interesting situation for the Singrisers, for the Verdant Vikings, with 1 over left in the power play, and they're about 37 runs at the moment. What do you think is a good target of you at CSC? Based on the previous games, it would appear the Verdant Vikings would target about 190 to 200.
Yeah, I think that's a good score. You know, if Aslan stays in, certainly he could take the game away from the Singrisers. But it'll be interesting to see last over the power play. Will Aslan look to play sensibly, look to not take risk, or will he look to play big shots before the field becomes more relaxed?
That's a good point over there. He may look to take a couple of calculated risks if the bowlers stay in line. Try to get one down to square or perhaps to the offside for a couple of boundaries here and there. But I don't think he's likely to go after every ball. 24-14 at the moment, Aslan looking good. Full toss from Yatish and he's slammed over long off. Excellent shot from Yatish, and we have another Jotek Maxinen. My mistake, it's Tyanish. And that is not the start you'd look for. Ball slipping out for mid-height full toss, outside off, and Aslan frees his arms. You cannot be bowling deliveries to a batsman of this caliber.
Yeah, Tyanish is a good bowler, but I think he's coming off sort of break from cricket. I remember I just played with him a couple of weeks ago. Drags one down the leg, it's a wide. Yeah, he's a really good bowler once he gets his groove. I think he bowls really good Yorkers, especially around the 4th stump line. Although I suppose to Aslan right now, if he tries to bowl that kind of length, Aslan will look to be jabbing over point and looking for 4s and 6s.
I think he needs to be cautious of his line as well. Anything too straight and Aslan's likely to go over square. Oh, excellent comeback there. And excellent running, they get a triple over here. Rather unfortunate over there. A very good Yorker. Aslan charging a bit, and an inside edge that flew towards fine leg. On another day, that could have gone on the stumps and gotten him bowled. Cricket can be quite a funny game in that sense.
Yeah, Tianish actually before the game was telling me to call him Tamil Nadu's rising hero or something like this. We'll have to see whether he manages to rise up to that name. Certainly that was a great ball. Aslan sort of just gets lucky, finds the gap with the edge, takes 3.
Is it being lucky or making your own luck? Quite the interesting predicament, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not surprised Rohan is saying that.
Another full toss, but Neil misses out over there. Would be a bit disappointed. Perhaps a bit of dew has got onto the ball, making it slip. You do see those towels on some of the fielders. But he will consider himself lucky, and he's come back extremely strong here after the wayward start.
Yeah, you'd think that Neil would be looking to take advantage of that ball. I think if he got any bat on it, it was going to be 4 somehow.
Back of Len, punched to short covers, and a very good comeback from Tianish over here. Neil looking to stick back, probably try to work one on the leg side. Will Tianish try to slip one in full over here, try to get him LBW or castled? Would be interesting to see here, because he did show quite a good Yorker against Aslan previously.
Yeah, not sure what his plan will be. Yeah, right on the money. Quick single as well. Rohan with a great prediction. Yorker from Tianish. Negotiated well by Neil. Grabs the quick single. End of the over. It is 48 for 2 after 6.
That's the end of the power play. 48 for 2 after 6 overs. A bit evenly balanced power play, I'd say. About 8 runs an over. Not the best, but considering 2 wickets are down, I think the Vikings would take it. It's going to be interesting to see what this plan is now. Do the Singrisers try to curtail the flow of runs over here and prevent them from rotating? Or do they spread the field, try to tell the batsmen to take their chance and look to get some wickets?
Yeah, I think the pressure's on the Verdant Vikings. I would look to put a pressuring field. Neil's been looking for his release shot, looking for a 4, but he's not quite got the good bat on it yet. And Vedant would back himself, I think, after a great first over, 4 runs given and 1 wicket.
Vedant's running in. What does Neil do over here? Back of a length, pokes at it, another one! Excellent bowling for Vedant over here, just sticking it in a very good area, getting the batsman a poke. And Neil has to depart for 4 off 8. He's going to be disappointed. Looked quite flustered throughout his innings, was looking for his release shot and was unfortunate to poke one through to the keeper.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, right? Because I think Vedansh's run-up might actually be contributing to the difficulty to face him. Because generally as a batsman you'd want to expect this rhythm of the run-up and wait for the ball, but with the erratic run-up you kind of don't expect when the ball is coming or when the bowler is going to bowl, and that sort of puts you off as a batsman. Looks like Vedant Nagpal's coming in. 48 for 3, Verdant Vikings in a precarious position. Vedansh Gupta bowling tremendously well. Let's see if he continues.
Vedant is in good form as well. Scored a very good 66 in the first game against the Merline Mavericks, and for a period of time it looked like they would chase down 230. But it's interesting over here to consider how do you approach the game. T20 people often associate with just going from ball one, but I feel like there's an art to building an innings that's been lost with time. We see the IPL where people are scoring 260, 250, and we think it's quite easy, but I can tell you it's not, because you can nick off the minute you try to go for that release shot.
Yeah, it's really hard, I think, to go from ball one. Especially, you know, if you're brought up playing cricket where you're told to try and drive and try and leave the ball out off the stumps as you start your innings. Well bowled again by Vedant, dot ball. So Rohan, if you were batting in this situation, what would you be looking to do? Would you be looking to rotate the strike? Would you be looking for the odd boundary?
In this scenario, I think looking to rotate is usually the play, but also be ready for those loose balls. One staying down leg, one a bit with too much width. You want to keep the run rate going, but also you want to calculate how many runs you want to keep in hand after a particular number of overs. So it's 16 overs, this is our target. Try to break it up, keep it manageable. That's a good ball from Vedant. Firing slightly fuller to Vedant over here, likely wanting to get him to play at it. Vedant swinging at it and unfortunately missing. Do you feel like the pressure to score 200 is getting to the Verdant Vikings now?
Yeah, I suspect so. It'll be nice to see, because I think generally when you bat in situations like this, it's hard, and you have to figure out how fast you want to go and how much you want to leave for the end, as you said. Slower ball, drags it down leg, it's a wide. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I think a lot of the youngsters coming up in the Singaporean cricket circle, they've become a lot more ambitious and a lot more daring to play their shots. They back themselves a lot more, even in precarious situations. So the odd bad ball, they'll try and put it away. So there he goes again. Vedant trying to look for that really big shot. Hits it straight to mid-off. Doesn't quite get the single.
If you notice, there's a bit of slowness to the pitch. Vedant not quite getting the ball onto the bat as he wants. I think the rain from the morning slightly contributing to it, making Astro a bit softer so the ball is sticking on it a bit more. Vedant will want to be conscious not to lose his wicket too early, because on a ground like this with AstroTurf and small boundaries, you can always make out. That's an excellent shot, but oh no, he missed out a chance there over deep mid wicket. Probably could have got it if he had stuck to the boundary, but Vedant gets away with a Jotek maximum, and that is a 50 up for the Verdant Vikings. A bit back of a length compared to earlier, and Vedant pounces on it, sending it flying. What will Vedant's strategy be here? To go after him again, try to put him under the pump and disrupt him, or look to take a single?
Yeah, I think especially with Vedant bowling so well, I would think that Vedant would be looking to go after him, especially if he bowls another sort of loosish delivery. Good comeback. Really well fielded, nicked by Vedant, and fielded really well sort of to third man. That's the end of the over.
It's 57 for 3. Again, looks like Vedant is just embracing going after the bowling. And that is sort of a mindset that people have in T20s. But it's going to be interesting to see what the Singrisers do here in response. We still have the skipper yet to bowl, who's quite the gun bowler, as I can attest.
Yeah, it's funny because in school level cricket, a lot of us, we used to play at the same ground, and a lot of us would be very happy with the score of like 110, 120, and that would be an easily defendable total, and half the runs used to come from wides. So it's funny that everyone's kind of grown up now and is hitting these big sixes when maybe 5-6 years ago everyone was scoring maybe 10-20 runs and quite happy with that.
When I was in 4th grade, I once scored 5 runs in a game, and it was considered an incredible innings. and everyone was just hyping it up and talking about how great it was. And then imagine when someone scores a 33, we're just losing our minds.
Welcome to Alpha Omega Wellness and Recovery, where pain relief meets performance. When you step into this space, it's all about your recovery. Whether you are an athlete, an office worker, or someone dealing with tightness, we are here to help you move, feel, and live better. Whether you're lifting weights, dancing, or playing sports, better flexibility means better movement. And we are here to manage your body's needs. Proper stretching promotes better blood flow to your muscles. This means faster recovery, reduced soreness, and better performance overall. One session at a time. Your recovery starts here today, so book your sessions now.
Is it Okdo or OQDO? I'm not sure of the pronunciation, but we have the drink spike happening right now. I wonder what the conversation over there is going to be with Roshan. Roshan is likely to back himself to accelerate towards the end and push them towards 200. So the Verdant Vikings would want to get to a stage where Roshan could push them over the edge, but at the same time not lose too many wickets and get him in too soon. Roshan has really transformed his game in the past couple of months, and he's been scoring very consistently. In fact, yesterday one of the conversations I was having with him was his disappointment over not scoring more than 63 that he did, which is quite funny that 63 is a disappointment for him. Just shows the kind of form he is in.
Yeah, exceptional bad. I think he was toying with his game over the last few months. Some things were not working for him. I think what he's found is that, generally if he backs himself, takes the odd dot ball and tries to put away the bad ball, he's in a lot better shape than trying to go after it from ball one. So, if Roshan comes in with plenty of time to spare, I think he would back himself anyway. I think he can bat the entire innings, even if he comes in at, say, the 8th, 9th over. And if he has to stitch up a partnership, he's perfectly capable of doing that.
I think we should be glad that Roshan and Suryansh Kulecha are in different teams. It would be quite scary for the bowlers having both of them at the same time. Arya, would you fancy bowling to either of them when they're going at you hard?
I think I generally don't fancy bowling anyway, but if I had to bowl to one of these guys, it's really tough, right? Because anything you do, it looks like, as a bowler, when you finish your action and you see the ball come right out of the middle of the bat, it's the worst feeling on earth, especially when you've seen like they swung at it, because you know it's going for 4 or 6 and you can't control that. And it's especially annoying if you've done nothing wrong, but they just meet the ball every time and they just hit big 6s, big 4s. And you just scratch your head and wonder what you can possibly do to fix things. You try and bowl a slower one, and then you drag it down leg. You try and change the length. You try and change the line, and then nothing quite goes for you.
I think the best solution is either to not bowl or become a wicket keeper, so you can avoid that.
Yeah, but the downside then is you have to bat.
Just have seniority to lock your place in the team.
Players slowly coming onto the field here. Looks like they're bringing Kush back on.
Back after the Okdo strategic timeout, and we have Kush Gilani returning. Kush, again, as we said, likes to keep it tight and likely want to stem the flow of runs here to create pressure for the other bowlers. Kush is exceptional at keeping it tight. He did fantastic in the inter-varsity finals between NUS and NTU.
Yeah, Kush is one of those bowlers who you kind of dread facing as a batsman, especially when you want to get runs on the board, just because it's so hard to put him away, and he doesn't quite give you that loose ball that you can rely on. Slower one from Kush. Played a backward square, gets the quick single. Aslan.
Some very good fielding from who I believe is Girin over there. An excellent fielder, probably one of the best I've seen in Singapore. Girin will probably be licking his lips here, looking for a decent target to hopefully get some big runs on the board over here. Girin has been in quite good form lately.
Field changes. Third man being brought up. Yatish being brought from short mid to, I believe, slip. Short third.
Kush fires it in. Oh, and he's top edged it. Aslan is going to be disappointed, hoping it goes down. And an excellent catch over there. Aslan was really looking good, but I prefer. I'm sorry. It appears to be Vedant who has departed, not Aslan. Vedant, after hitting a magnificent Jotek 6, has to depart for 8 off 6. Question here will be, is the skipper going to step out finally, or is he going to save himself for the back end of the innings?
Yeah, Kush bowling right to the plan. That's why he can be so difficult to face. Back of a length, rips it in. Very difficult to face. Vedant looking for the big shot. Doesn't quite get in. An excellent diving catch from the man at backward point.
I think something Kush does really well is varying his pace up. So when you think the ball is there to hit, it's not quite at the length, and that misjudgment can often contribute to you playing false shots, as in this case. And it appears the skipper Roshan has come out. 47 in the first game and 63 in the last one. He's going to be looking to continue his form and hopefully get a big one so he can push his team to a score of hopefully over 200. You think Roshan's going to go after Kush from ball 1, or he's going to take his time to get his eye in?
No, I think Roshan's figured his game out, and part of that game is taking his time because he backs himself to go after maybe 10-15 balls, and he's capable of hitting monstrous sixes. So even if his strike rate's looking kind of bad, 1 or 2 balls and he fixes it right away.
Singrisers will be hoping Roshan skies one early on. Seeing his back would really put them in the driver's seat over here, and they'd be backing themselves to restrict the Verdant Vikings to about 130 or 140. But never forget, we still have Aslan Jaffrey on the non-strikers end, who's looking very good at 33 of 17. So the game in the balance here. Good start from Kush, back of a length, blocked by Roshan. Quite the sensible start from Roshan over here. Wide vacant spaces on the leg side, so he might look to turn it over there for a single.
Yeah, he'll probably look to rotate strike early. Oh, that's a big shot. Oh, put down in the deep. Roshan will count his lucky stars there. I would say slight misjudgment from Roshan there, looking to play the big shot right off the bat, but 2 fielders in the deep. Deep mid-wicket, looks to take a tough catch, dives at it and spills it.
Very tough chance there, but the Singrisers would have been very happy if it was taken. But these are the kind of chances, the half chances you want to take in order to swing the momentum of the game. Roshan going second ball would have definitely been in the favor of the Singrisers and would have put them in favor in this innings. Kush continues. Lucid. Slice by Aslan. Oh no. Oh, that comes close. Almost to the fielder at sweeper. Kush creating chances over here, and the Verdant Vikings are looking at a very precarious situation. A couple more wickets, especially Roshan and Aslan, would put them very far behind in the game.
Yeah, I think they just need to calm their horses a little bit, look to play sensible cricket. Roshan can definitely look to rotate strike here. The field is set so that he can rotate strike.
And Roshan's gone. He doesn't look happy with that. Apparently he's nicked off. Against the run of play, the skipper departs. Does not look happy whatsoever over here. But the Singriser will definitely take this, seeing the back of the skipper. Roshan does not look very happy. Probably thinks he did not nick it. Umpires seem to be discussing something, but the new batsman's already in. Roshan Ravichandran is in. And the skipper Premal Roshan will have to depart for 1 of 3 and will be very disappointed to depart so early. And the onus now is going to be on Aslan to keep the Verdant Vikings going through the middle overs.
Yeah, I think it's looking really tough for Verdant Vikings. If I was Singrisers, I'd be looking to restrict them to under 120, 130. That would be a really easy target to chase, especially knowing that you're only chasing 120 or 130. You can look to play slowly and look to rotate strike. Pretty sure, yeah. What would Aslan's game plan be here, Rohan? Sorry. Do you think he'll be looking to go for it? Do you think he'll be looking to take it all the way to the 15th, 16th over?
I think Aslan would likely take his chances where it is, but if he can pull it to the 14th, 15th over without too many more wickets, then he can hopefully stage a comeback from there. Try to get about 170, 180. Because taking a risk here could propel them to 200, but at the same time, if he does get out, it might very likely be over for them in this innings. And we have the skipper loading in over here. Atharva Gune coming in, a very smart bowler, will likely look to get Aslan out and really pin back the Verdant Vikings. If Aslan goes in the next 3 to 4 overs, it's going to be very difficult for them to cross 140 or 150.
Missteps in his run-up. Yeah, Atharva Gune is a really good bowler, bowls really well for NTU and for the other teams he plays for. I personally don't enjoy facing him or any of the NTU bowlers just because they can be so tactical and smart about how they bowl. Aslan looks to step down, misses it, collected by the keeper.
Because we have a mistake on the scoreboard, it's showing Vedant knock ball in, but it is in fact Aslan Jaffrey. But Atharva Gune, good start. He's a very challenging bowler to face, swings it both ways and is deceptively quick. Likes to get the batsman moving back and then slip one in, try to get them castled LBW. Slow one over there. Aslan just works it towards point. This is very good batting over here by Aslan. Sensible batting.
Yeah, you're right about the deceptively quick. I remember facing Atharva Gune after a very long time. And the first ball I faced, I sort of towed it because I didn't expect it to come that fast. And I didn't hear the end of it for a couple of overs.
He's quite the nightmare to face in NTU with the new ball. Swing it both ways with a bouncy end. I've been stuck on him. I've been stuck on my chest and neck more times than I care to share.
New batsman Roshan Ravichandran looks to flick, gets an inside edge, gets it to four down fine leg. He's a very aggressive batsman, very stylish batsman at that. Will probably be looking to keep the run rate ticking, just as he doesn't look to take risks.
It's not an interesting scenario to consider. What does Roshan Ravichandran do? Does he back his instincts and look to go after the bowler to try and shift the momentum, or does he look to play a bit more conservative, try to push it deep so they can stage a comeback later on? With Aslan batting the way he is, it would likely be wise to try and play defensive, try and play a bit more conservative. But today's the modern age where there's no such thing as defense or taking singles. It is all out aggression and looking to get as high a score as you can, even at the loss of wickets.
There he goes, he looks to play, gets caught at mid-on. Great bowling from Gune, trying to force a shot from Roshan Ravichandran. He looks to play up and over mid-on, doesn't quite get it and gets out. I would say probably not the most sensible batting in this situation, but that's the brand of cricket that people are playing these days, isn't it?
Very true. For those of you watching at home, you're probably confused with the scorecard showing at 57 for 3. I can assure you it is not that. We're 6 wickets down at the moment. Roshan Ravichandran walking back to the shed. Aslan looking a bit flustered, I would say. When you're batting the way you are and you see your partners just holding out consistently, it can get quite frustrating. And it does question what school of T20 cricket do you believe in? Do you believe in both batsmen going hard, or do you believe in one anchoring and the other one going hard after the bowlers?
Yeah, it sort of depends on the situation you're in, right? I think if both batsmen are feeling it and there's plenty of wickets to spare, you can just go crazy and do what you like. But in this situation, it looks like some temperament, some caution would be well advised. But I think Aslan would absolutely back himself to just look to play big, because otherwise they probably don't even stand a chance.
Very true. That's a very good point. But this area looks like India with Abhishek Sharma, does it not? Aslan Jaffrey doing quite a good job at replicating him. Abhishek Sharma, what a batsman he is. Just sends the ball absolutely out. I would love to see him bat here, but everything would be getting lost consistently. At building up ahead, he probably hit several of them onto the roof, would he not?
Yeah, I remember there was a quick single there actually. Really well played. A new batsman in. Yeah, it's interesting that you mentioned Abhishek Sharma, because a couple of years back I remember I was helping out with an event where a lot of international cricketers had come to Singapore. I remember Dilshan had come, Mohammad Azharuddin, and they were just hitting the biggest sixes I've seen in my life, and were doing it so effortlessly without a helmet on. It looked like they were just playing in a park.
I can't even imagine a batsman like Tim David batting in a ground as small as this. Slow ball, excellent shot there from Aslan. Sends it over corner for a massive Jotek maximum. And the ball is lost. We're going to have a short breather over here. But this is just wonderful cricket from Aslan, not letting the follow wickets deter him, as he just looks to take on the loose balls and rotate otherwise. And it really shows the sort of temperament you need for T20 cricket, where you take calculated risks and don't simply go after the bowler blindly. Because the conditions aren't nearly as easy as they appear, despite Aslan making batting look effortless at the moment.
Yeah, but also some days are just your day, and when it is your day, you should absolutely be looking to go, because you don't get those days often where you're just hitting everything right out of the middle of the bat and you're scoring runs left, right and center.
We have confirmation at the moment that's Aryan Voleti in. I've played a few games with him and he's a very sensible batsman, but don't let that fool you. He can absolutely send the ball into the stands if needed. But Aryan is likely to play a supporting role to Aslan, who's at the moment 43 of 22 with a strike rate close to 200, having hit 4 Jotek maximums already. The Verdant Vikings would likely want Aslan to bat deep and hopefully convert this into a massive one. 200 definitely on the cards if Aslan bats through 20 overs with the way he's looking at the moment.
Yeah, I should think if I were Voleti, my job would be very easy. Just look to get Aslan on strike and let him do the job and just watch from the non-strikers. And in general, actually, I quite enjoy doing that, especially if I'm batting with someone like Roshan or Aslan even I've batted with once or twice. It's just a joy to watch them bat, and it's much easier to do it from the non-strikers than to do it from the strikers' end.
Definitely is nice when they hit 2 6 in the over and you can afford to play 2 to 3 dot balls without any pressure. And who's coming in here? It appears it is Kush continuing for his final over here. Has excellent figure so far, 3 for 7, has 2 for 17 in 3 overs. Would likely want to see the back of Aslan in this over. Loops it. Aryan Voleti edges it to short third for a quick single over there, bringing back Aslan on strike. It's quite nice having the lefty-righty combo over here, with the field constantly changing, and can look to rotate and put Kush off his rhythm over here. Kush is someone who appreciates seeing the batsman swing and miss, and you would want to see a couple of dot balls here from Aslan, but Aslan, if he gets one in his arc, can very easily put it away into the stands. So what is Aslan's strategy going to be here? Looking to try and go after Kush, or try to keep the runs ticking along?
it's Kush's last over, and he's been tremendous. So I think Aslan will probably take it easy, but at the same time, he's been looking magnificent. So the odd fuller ball, I think he's going to try and put away. Loops it up, tries to get Aslan playing. Aslan does play, and he's caught in the deep. Really, really, really big blow for the Verdant Vikings. And Kush bowling right to the plan, tries to get Aslan to play a really big shot. Aslan caught deep in the sweepers.
Looks like Aslan didn't quite get to the pitch of that and hence sliced it, so didn't get as much power as he would like. And a very good catch out then by the deep sweeper. Would this be the final coffin, nail in the coffin for the Verdant Vikings, who are looking in a spotted bowler at 74 for 7 before the 10th over is done? New batsman in will be Mohammad Ali, facing Kush Gilani, who already has 3 wickets in his spell. Kush would likely want to get 1 or 2 more, try to go for a 5 in this over, which would be quite incredible in a T20, as you know.
The plan working magnificently, bringing Kush on for his final over. It could have gone wrong if Aslan had just played him out, but of course Aslan was looking to go for it. The fuller ball trying to tempt him. Aslan falls hook, line and sinker.
Also, you have to consider the pressure that was on Aslan. The onus of scoring was entirely on him, with wickets falling, already 6 down. So he was likely wanting to disrupt Kush's rhythm of that ball and then try to work him for singles afterwards. A calculated risk that had gone wrong, unfortunately. The Singrisers will definitely take that with 7 wickets down. They will want to clean this up under 100 runs. Another field change over here. Kush running in. Again, back of a length, keeping it tight. Very good bowling by Kush over here. I'm just sort of curious because spinners are typically seen as someone who you don't want to be bowling in the mid against batsmen in form, especially in a ground like this. Yet Kush has been a pick of the bowlers and has been very difficult to put away.
Yeah, I think the gamble paid off, right? Because Kush is such a good bowler, you can reserve him for the last few overs. But I think it made sense because Aslan was the only real batsman they had left. Muhammad Ali going for a really big shot. Should be caught. Caught at mid-off. He's gone. They are now in a really precarious position. The Verdant Vikings, 74 for 8, I believe. Not much runs on the board. 2 wickets to come.
No. You absolutely did not want to be doing that at that moment. Kush was already bowling a very tight line and length. And you had him swinging, trying to send it over mid-wicket, but can only manage to slice it up to mid-off. And this is just a period of poor cricket for the Verdant Vikings, who had looked so dominant in the previous 2 games and are now looking in a situation where they may be all out under 100. Definitely not the turnaround they'd expect after their previous dominant win in the previous game.
Looks like Kapish is coming in. Young player, really good bowler. I wouldn't quite call him a batsman though. And given that they're 74 for 8, I think the strategy absolutely has to be to just rotate the strike and bat out the 20 overs. You have 10 overs left. Just look for as many runs as you possibly can. 140, 150 is out of the window. If you can get up to 110, 120, I would take that as an absolute win. And look to bowl really tight in the second innings.
Kush with 1 ball. Signaling for water over there. Another strategic timeout. But I believe there's 1 ball left in Kush's spell and would want to pick up the 5-4. And there's been a bit of an issue with the scoring today. It appears to be quite confusing, with the over ending often with 1 or 2 balls left, and in some cases the wrong batsman appearing on strike. I will tell you, one of my fears as a batsman is having all my runs given away to someone else. Happened very often in my childhood where a big bulk of my runs were given to others.
Yeah, I find it especially amusing that Aryan's name is spelled as Aryan Walletti. That's like the word wallet when his name is Walletti. But nonetheless, I hope you're keeping track of the score. I hope that you're enjoying the game. Right now it looks like Verdant Vikings is not really putting up much of a fight. But, you know, tail enders can sometimes show their spirit, show their ability. And today will absolutely be one of those days that Valetti or Kapish will be looking to make their mark as batsmen.
At Octo, we believe sports, wellness, and hobbies bring people together. Whether you're an enthusiast chasing your next goal, a coach shaping future champions, or a facility providing the space for dreams to grow. Want to try something new? From soccer to yoga to photography, we make booking fast and easy. Just a few taps and you're in. Coaching? Octo helps you build your business, manage your sessions, and connect with clients, whether you're a pro or just starting out or just want to start a side hustle. Got a space? Fill it with the Octo app. Manage bookings, grow your business, and give your athletes and coaches the best experience. Together, we bridge the gap between learners, coaches, and facilities, creating a seamless connection where everyone wins. Learners get the best experiences, coaches get more opportunities, and facilities are always in demand. Ready to get moving? Download the app today. Octo, your world of sports, hobbies, and wellness connected.
Do not come to Alpha Omega. Seriously. And here's why. Because you will feel so relaxed. Because you will feel so good and get addicted. Because they make you so flexible and injury-free. And what's next? Superpowers? So, avoid Alpha Omega if you don't want to feel good and flexible every day.
Welcome back after the Okdo timeout. Kush returning for one ball with 4 wickets in his spell. He'll want to take this opportunity to try and get a 5-wicket haul. But I want to bring up the earlier point where you said the Verdant Vikings aren't putting up much of a fight. There's also present an opportunity for the 2 batsmen at crease, for Kapish and Valetti, to tie and get some runs and build up their confidence as batsmen.
Yeah, I think, frankly, there's little pressure on them, right? The job seems to be done. So as batsmen, I would just be looking to get stuck in. Look to just play as many balls as I can. Look to take as many singles and doubles as I can. Once I get some confidence, maybe look to hit a 4 or a 6.
Yorksham and Kush will be disappointed not to get the 5-4, but end of an excellent spell. 4 overs, 18 for 4. And he's certainly turned the momentum of the game around in favor of the Singrisers. But as you said, those extra runs they could get in these next 10 overs could definitely make the difference. For all you know, the Singrisers could have a collapse of their own and the game goes down to the wire. So definitely, I would say in the position of the Verdant Vikings, they shouldn't give up here and try to get as many runs as they can to try and keep the game alive. But it is looking a bit dire for them at the moment.
Yeah, I think in such situations, you absolutely just want to talk to your batsman, Roshan or more experienced batsmen in the team, just coming out and reassuring them. And I think they're bringing Vedansh back into the attack, probably to try and clean this team out for under 100. Yeah, ball rising again. Sort of a miscommunication between Kapish and Aaron Valetti.
Quite interesting that the skipper didn't continue here. He has 3 overs in hand. Perhaps he's saving himself up for the next over. But between Atharva Gune and Devansh, who's been bowling rather well, they would like to clean them up, preferably under 80 over here at 74 for 8. Would make it quite the easy target and would help them with their net run rate. Another ball just rising past the bat over there. Devansh appears rather tall, so perhaps the extra bounces. My apologies, it's Vedansh, not Devansh. Vedansh's height probably contributing to the trickiness of facing him over here as the ball appears to be bouncing outside the off stump.
Yeah, got to watch the ball until the very last second and play at it. Valetti looking to dab, I think, to third man for the single. Well bowled, tries to square him up, bowls straighter this ball. Nice variation of line, keeping Valetti on his toes.
Yeah, it's a very good line over there, just keeping him back. My question is, will he try to slip one in fuller to try and get him out of here? That generally tends to be the setup, as I've seen over here. He push the batsman back and then fire one in fuller. Vedant's running in again. Slightly fuller. Strikes him on the back pad. For no run over here. Keeping things tight again, not really giving much runs away. But Aryan Voleti won't feel bad about keeping a few out. He'll want to pull this as deep as possible, preferably 20 overs.
Yeah, I think what you mentioned about just keeping the length back and then pushing one or two up fuller is absolutely the strategy here. Hasn't quite bowled a fuller ball yet. There it comes, looking to get Aryan Voleti to drive, and he drives and misses.
Perhaps this is part of the setup, trying to get him to play outside the off before he gets one on the stumps. It's rather interesting here. We've seen quite a few batsmen getting out this way, poking outside the off stump. You've played quite a bit in Ceylon cricket. Do you feel like there's a bit of extra bounce in this pitch?
It's been a long time since I last played here, but yeah, I think it's generally it can be a tough pitch to bat on. A lot of Singaporean pitches tend to be slow. They tend to be difficult to bat on. They tend to be difficult to get good bat on. Probably with the notable exception of the new national grounds. I think those ones are actually okay to bat on. But every other ground I batted in Singapore, perhaps due to my absolute lack of talent, I've generally found it kind of difficult to get good bat on the ball.
I won't comment on the lack of talent, but it appears Thianesh is continuing. Thianesh coming in for the 12th over here. Verdant Vikings, 74 for 8. Kapish will likely be looking to drop one for a quick single. The field has been brought in. We have a sweeper out and a deep mid wicket. The bowler's probably hoping that if the batsman goes for it, might miscue one to one of the deep fielders. But it's interesting that the shortest boundary, which is straight, you have both the fielders in. Perhaps suggests the nature of the pitch where there's a bit of bounce and you shouldn't be looking to just hit through the line.
Leaves the wide. Yeah, I think keeping the fielder straight in is absolutely a good strategy. It's going to be difficult for Kapish to play straight back and over the bowler, and if he does, then that's just a great shot and you just have to accept that as a bowler. But he's absolutely going to look to make Kapish play, make Kapish look for the single. That's why he's brought his field in. Kapish dabs it. Miscommunication, potential run out here. Thrown to the wrong end. Voleti looks to run, Kapish unsure.
This is one of these scenarios you often run into, to run or to not. You judge your own call or trust your partner. From experience, I can tell you I often regret trusting my partner, as Arya knows.
Oh, what a shot from Voleti. He hits a big six. That's a Jotech 6. Loose ball from Thianesh. And he plays through the square, flicks it over for 6. Yeah, as you mentioned, actually, I think Rohan and I are both thinking of one player when we talk about runouts. We'll give him a quick shout out here. His name's Tejas Gandhi, the captain currently of the National University of Singapore cricket team. He generally is one of the most erratic runners I've run with, and I generally have to chase him back, because if you run, you're probably going to get out.
Very good comeback from Thianesh there. Full Yorker outside off, beats Voleti. But yeah, running between the wickets is quite interesting, especially in Singapore where the outfields tend to be on the slow side. You have to run a lot to get your runs, and being hesitant in your calls and making mistakes often gets you run out, which can be one of the worst ways to return to the shed. Another full toss. Voleti just bunts it to mid-off. Chance. Misses at mid-off. Kapish looking a little hesitant to run. Well, Voleti is looking to keep rotating the strike. They've got up to about 83 right now. they would likely back themselves to get 100, but the Singrisers will be looking to keep them under that.
Tanesh bowling relatively loose actually. 3 full tosses in this over alone. Kapish just punches that to mid-on. But if I were Kapish, actually, there looks like a pretty juicy region through mid-wicket where there's barely any fielders. If he can just bunt it into that region, he'll probably get 2. Should still look to rotate strike as much as he can, even though it's going to be difficult. Really slow from Tanesh. You can actually see his hand coming through. It was coming through slower. But good end to the over. I think Verdant Vikings will be happy with that one over. They get 7 or 8 off it. The score is 83 for 8 after 12.
8 overs left to go, 48 balls. Another 40 runs away will get them to 123. A very respectable total. But will it be defendable is the question, especially against a batting lineup like the Singrisers. Singrisers did do very good with the ball in their previous game as well. Restricted the Merline Mavericks quite a bit, who did end up scoring 230 against the Verdant Vikings. So quite the interesting scenario in this tournament going on. The Singrisers already have 1 victory in that 1 game, whereas this is the final game for the Verdant Vikings. And they will want to win this in order to ensure they qualify.
Skipper brings himself back on. Valetti looks really confident actually. Just defends really nicely. Looks to be getting decent bat on the ball. He'll probably back himself to bat through to the 20th over. But coming back to the chase, I think you can't understate the effect of having to chase and knowing it's a low total. That takes the pressure off you as the chasing team. You won't really need to look to play big shots if you're only chasing 120. Attempt from Valetti to flick it and send it on its way. Doesn't quite get it, but I like the intent actually from Valetti. He's looking positive, gets the quick single, gets the odd boundary, keeps the run rate ticking.
Yeah, he's showing good intent over here, looking to score, looking to keep the runs moving, and trusting his non-striker Kapish to bat. You often see in this scenario batsmen tend to monopolize the strike. Oh, a very close chance over there. Kapish flicking it away over mid-wicket. Just over his hands, and Atharva Gunde will feel a bit miffed over there. 2 balls in the air, but 0 wickets to show for it in this over.
And I think they're batting the right way. They're just looking for the singles, looking for the odd boundary, looking to back themselves, take some runs. If the dot balls pile up, it can be a very tricky situation to try and recover from. Oh, beautiful shot from Aryan Valetti. He's been looking to play that shot, doesn't quite reach the boundary, backward square, but he grabs 2, and he's been playing that flick really well actually. I think he's gonna back himself to play that flick. You'd think that Atharva Gunde will try and change his line, try and bring it a bit and a bit wider, maybe fourth stump, try and make Valetti drive at it.
Or perhaps a slow ball trying to get him to swipe across and a possible leading edge. Atharva Gunde is streaming in here. Back of a length, Aryan Valetti negotiates it down to 3rd man. Batting quite well over here for Valetti, looking to keep out the balls in good areas, whereas he's targeting anything that stays a bit on his legs. And this is the kind of intent the Verdant Vikings need over here. And if Valetti gets in, there's every possibility they may even be able to hit 130, or if they get a bit lucky, perhaps 140. It would be game on in that situation then.
Yeah, Kapish just defending that one. I think he's going to be looking to play a supporting role. That's the end of the over. Pretty good one, I would say, for Verdant Vikings. They've gotten maybe 5 off it. And the score stands at 88 for 8 in 13 overs.
Already facing Devansh again. And steaming in, Fuller strays on the legs and walked away for a single. Really highlights what Valeti's plan has been over here, to just try and walk away any ball on his legs. And he's likely to target the boundary if he gets the right length.
Yeah, I think Valeti's really good off his pads, and you can see that he's really trying to play to that strength. You know, he's not looking for the runs when it's coming on the fourth stump line. And it's interesting to see. As a bowler for Singriser, I would be looking to take the ball away from Valeti's pads. He's really comfortable there, and you can see that he really just wants to play there. He has been struggling slightly if you put it back of the length onto the fourth stump. He's always looking to play this dab to third man, and hasn't quite got it, probably because of the bounce. So if I were Vedansh and I was bowling to Valeti, probably look to almost strangle him by bowling that length.
Quite the interesting point. We could see a field change over here. Square leg coming in, and mid wicket moving a bit squarer, likely to go short. Push it up, blocked by Kapish. That was a good batting by Kapish here. Just keeping the ball out. But Valeti would likely want him to look for those singles and get him back on strike. Singers is definitely on top over here.
Yeah, job gets much easier if you're a batsman like Valeti, if the other batsman's looking to rotate the strike as well. Takes the pressure off you. Gets a nick, Kapish negotiates it well. Gets a quick single, nice loud call from Kapish to say no. Starting to look slightly more confident. Do you think they'll be able to get 120, 130 on the board?
It's tough to say at the moment, but with the way Valeti's batting and Kapish batting quite sensibly, if they can keep going and rotating, perhaps get a boundary in over, 120 is definitely on the cards. But as I said previously, if Valeti gets his eye in and can perhaps strike a few boundaries at the end, they could even push 130 or 140, which would be a competitive total. Short ball, flies past Valeti. He would be disappointed not to get much bat on that. Could have been a boundary there with a short back boundary.
Yeah, I think absolutely the name of the game is to take this up to the 17th, 18th over and then start looking to take risks. Right now, if you go 3-4 runs and over, up to the 18th over, let's say you get 16 runs on the board, that's 106. Last two overs somehow try and get 10 and over, you're looking at 126, which is totally a good total given where they started. Oh, there's the shot from Valeti. Gets four behind backward square leg. That's a Pro Mac 4. Superb shot from Valeti. He really looks for that release off the pads. And frankly, some loose bowling from Vedansh. He should really be looking to keep it tight and prevent him from playing that shot. But right now, the Singrisers are letting Valeti play his shots, and he's really looking quite confident.
I don't think the Singrisers would feel too bad given the situation, but they would still like to curtail them under 100. 94 for 8 after the 14th. With the way Valeti's been going, they backed themselves to get about 120 odd.
Interesting, actually, Vedansh is done with his spell. So they did try and get the wicket of Vedansh's bowling. Really good over, and in general well bowled by Vedansh, 19 for 2 in 4 overs. But I believe it's now Kabir into the attack. Spinner trying to disrupt the rhythm of Valeti. Probably won't quite be able to release himself over a backward square leg against the spinner. Loose-ish ball. Gets a quick single, drives out to the sweeper.
Yeah, Kabir, one of those spinners who likes to keep it tight, likes to fire it in a bit. We'll hopefully look to get a couple of wickets on this over and wrap it up quickly. Fielders coming in, just the mid-wicket out at the moment. We'll hope Kapish swipes across and sends one up in the air. Tossed up. Oh, beats in. That's an excellent delivery. Kabir won't be happy about that bye over there. As a bowler, it's especially disrupting when the batsmen get away singles when you do get them beaten. Little bit of momentum building for the Verdant Vikings now, or in Valeti on strike.
Good single there, really good communication, nice start from Kapish. This is absolutely what they should be looking for, edging up on 100 now, 96 for 8. And yeah, I think they're negotiating the spinner well. Absolutely should not be looking to take him on at this current stage.
Very well played from Kapish over there, just pushing it towards mid-off. And yeah, this is definitely the move. Look to rotate. When you get the loose ball, go after it. They don't have the luxury of wickets at the moment. Oh, and chips one. Goes mid-on. And another single over there. A bit of a misfield. VERDANT Vikings, you can hear it from the stands, cheering a bit. So it's starting to feel a little bit of hope over here. Would probably back themselves to defend about 120, 130 even.
Nicely worked by Valeti. This is absolutely how they should be playing. Very sensible cricket from Valeti and Kapish both. Valeti looking really strong and just drops that for a single. They are 99 for 8 in 15.
Quite a good recovery so far from the Vikings. 5 overs left. They would definitely back themselves to get above 120 if they keep going this way. About 5 to 6 runs an over would get net them about 125 to 130. And it appears we have another bowling change over here. We have Yatish coming in with a bit of spin as well, a bit of leg spin, I believe. What's Valeti's strategy going to be here? Is he going to do much of the same, or is he going to look to go after him and put him under the pump from ball 1?
Yeah, I think Valeti seems to feel more comfortable against pace, especially with that release shot he has over backward square leg. Oh, okay. A bit of a miscommunication. I think Valeti doesn't think there's a single there and then realizes there is. 100 up though. You can hear the cheers by the VERDANT Vikings. A sliver of hope starting to emerge perhaps.
What is Kapish going to do here? If you toss it up, is he going to go for it? Back of a length, cuts it away. Or Valeti looking for a single, but he would not want to take on Girin. A hard throw, and they get the overthrow over there. Oh, perhaps would unlikely to be 4 with how slow the pitch is, but they do get 2 extra runs. Singriser is looking a bit flustered at the moment, now sloppy. Good fielding from Girin though. He will feel a bit upset that flew past for 2 runs.
Yeah, I think just calm your horses a little bit. I think they're looking to get him run out. They're looking to put the batsman under pressure. But batsmen are absorbing the pressure superbly. Look at Kapish batting as if he's a seasoned batsman and knows exactly what he's doing. And the cheers from the stands as well. You can hear the VERDANT Vikings. You can hear Roshan shouting. Generally, they're quite amped up, and we might have a game on our hands.
Definitely. Mid-on up over here. What will Valeti do in this situation? Half tracker, punch past covers, and that is a Pro Mac 4. Excellent stuff from Valeti over here, just waiting for the loosener. A long hop put away very respectfully. And now Valeti on to 24 of 23.
Hey, interesting short choice actually. I was expecting him to sort of pivot onto his back foot and look to play over mid-wicket. But that actually turned out to be a great shot because Yatish has 2 fielders down in the deep on the leg side. So waiting and just playing over covers instead was absolutely the right choice. And sensible from Valeti defending the ball right after the 4. You know, they generally recommend after you hit a big 4 or a 6, you look to rotate the strike. We'll see if Valeti looks to do that or if he looks to play out the over.
I want to call attention to Valeti's body language. He doesn't really look urgent. There's no sense of urgency per se. He looks very calm, collected, looks to be taking his time. And this is exactly what the VERDANT Vikings would want. They'd want Valeti to bat through to 20, not take any unnecessary risks. And we have another Oakdoor timeout over here.
Welcome to Alpha Omega Wellness and Recovery, where pain relief meets performance. When you step into this space, it's all about your recovery. Whether you are an athlete, an office worker, or someone dealing with tightness, we are here to help you move, feel, and live better. Whether you're lifting weights, dancing, or playing sports, better flexibility means better movement. And we are here to manage your body's needs. Proper stretching promotes better blood flow to your muscles. This means faster recovery, reduced soreness, and better performance overall. One session at a time. Your recovery starts here today.
16th over.
So book your
Kabir
sessions
continuing
now.
to Kapish over here. He would likely look to give the strike to Volati, who's been looking very good in this innings. Flights it up and flicks it away. Excellent batting from Kapish. Looking very composed and batting very smartly over there, finding the gap. And this is the sort of cricket the Verdant Vikings want over here. They want to keep rotating and look to take their chances when they get a loosener.
130, 140 looking very much on the cards now when it looked impossible a couple of overs ago. Really superb batting from both Kapish and Aryan, really looking to find the gaps. Just that shot from Kapish in the previous ball. He waited on it and looked to push it through the gap. The both fielders there, is very easy to find the fielder, especially when you're batting in such situations. But just really clever in working his hands through the ball. Loose one. Bad shot from Volati though, and he's caught at square leg. Really, really unfortunate. Really short ball. Volati looks to take it on. I think he would have backed himself to hit a 4 or a 6. Doesn't quite get it. I think the bounce was unexpected. And a really unfortunate wicket. Verdant Vikings now down to their last wicket.
Yeah, I think Volati will be disappointed. A ranked long hop, and as it often is the case, the worst balls tend to get the wickets. Kabir was actually bowling very well, rather good lengths, but the one that's pitched back that should have been gone for 6 by all rights ended up picking up the wicket. But the Singrasers will definitely take that. With 1 wicket left, they'll want to wrap them up here at 108 for 9. Preferably keep the target under 120, so they will require less than run a ball.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that you usually get out to the bad balls. I can absolutely attest to that. There have been so many innings where I've had to try and stitch something together, and I finally start going, and I see a ball and I go, oh my god, I can absolutely send this for 6. And the number of times I've either holed out to the guy in the deep, the only fielder in the deep, to a really slow, almost nothing ball, or the number of times I've gotten out LBW looking to play a big 6. It's probably not a fun thing to mention.
We have Kaushal coming in. Close, gets beaten past the outside edge, but Kaushal can definitely clear the ground if he connects one. But Bully is the question. With 1 wicket left and about 4 overs, he'd probably be looking to bat this out and take his chances towards the end. But 130 looking a bit more precarious now after Volati's wicket. Punched off the back foot to long off for just a single. Very good batting from Kaushal over here.
Yeah, we absolutely know Kaushal as a pinch hitter can really get going after the ball if he's feeling it. If I were him, I would probably just try and take a couple of swipes at the ball if it's there to hit. Really good wicket keeping. Almost a wicket. Kapish keeps his foot in the crease. End of the over. Good one from Kabir. It's 109 for 9 after 17.
3 overs to go. It's the Verdant Vikings would like to get about 125 odd. Kabir has 2 overs left. Yatish will not be continuing. It appears the skipper has taken the ball again. Will probably want to clean this up with 2 overs himself left among the 3 overs. Quite the interesting strategy, right? Do you believe that the skipper saved himself specifically for the death?
Yeah, I think it's pretty interesting because Atharva only really came on in the 9th over, 8th over, I believe, and then now he's coming back in the 17th over. A bit of a peculiar strategy, but Kaushal appears to work that one for a 4 actually off the pads. Promac 4 off the pads, and this is absolutely what they'll want. They'll want the runs however they come. looked to just work it, but he got good enough bat on it, I suppose, for it to go for 4 down to fine leg.
Who knows, maybe Kaushal gets it away and Verdant Vikings even hit 150. Could definitely happen, but I think they would definitely take anything above 125, given the situation they were in. Back of a length, blocked towards covers. Very good batting by Kaushal over here, sensible. Will likely look to work for a single on the leg side, which is rather open. I don't see a fine leg over there, so if Atharva does stray onto the pads, it could be a boundary opportunity for Kaushal over there.
Yeah, maybe Kaushal will be looking to step across, try and access that leg side. Yeah, you see the big leg movement. He's really looking to go for it if it's there. But Atharva pulls the length back and Kaushal negotiates nicely. But you can absolutely see, based on his body language, he's probably going to look to go for it if it's anything full. He's probably going to try and beat this infield on the offside, which has been brought in close. Oh, looks to play a flick. That should be out and is 113 all out. Verdant Vikings would probably be quite happy with this, given they were, I think, about 74 for 8 at one point. What do you think, Rohit?
Definitely an excellent comeback, but I can't help but feel like the Verdant Vikings would be disappointed, not just from the initial collapse, but how they couldn't capitalize on the recovery and make about 130 odd. 113, definitely a bit under par on a ground like this. And the Singraisers would definitely back themselves to canter home and boost their run rate significantly. I believe the Singraisers win over here. They qualify for the finals, being the first team to do so, which would be quite the moral victory for them.
Clouds look like they're rolling in as well. Perhaps a chance of rain. But the Singraisers will be happy. They got a little sloppy, I felt, towards the end, trying to effect some runouts, especially when Kapish and Valetti were batting together. Kapish should absolutely pat himself on the back here. Scores a nifty 10 runs, not out, and generally was quite in control of his innings overall.
Yes, a very good knock, very handy knock from Valetti over there, but I also want to give a shout out to Aslan Jaffrey, who scored an incredible 43. He might be a bit disappointed he didn't make more, but was certainly the factor that got the Verdant Vikings over 100. Now, what's the strategy going to be running in with the impending possible rain? Will they look to take a couple of wickets up early, try to be aggressive, risk the Singraisers getting a lot of quick runs, or would they look to play defensive?
Yeah, I think the Singraisers will probably go for it. Look for the quick runs and put the pressure back on the Verdant Vikings. And the Verdant Vikings absolutely should be looking to hit the sticks, right? They should absolutely be looking to take the wickets. But it'll be interesting to see.
At Octo, we believe sports, wellness, and hobbies bring people together. Whether you're an enthusiast chasing your next goal, a coach shaping future champions, or a facility providing the space for dreams to grow. Want to try something new? From soccer to yoga to photography, we make booking fast and easy. Just a few taps and you're in. Coaching? Octo helps you build your business, manage your sessions, and connect with clients, whether you're a pro or just starting out or just want to start a side hustle. Got a space? Fill it with the Octo app. Manage bookings, grow your business, and give your athletes and coaches the best experience. Together, we bridge the gap between learners, coaches, and facilities, creating a seamless connection where everyone wins. Learners get the best experiences, coaches get more opportunities, and facilities are always in demand. Ready to get moving? Download the app today. Octo, your world of sports, hobbies, and wellness connected.
The Verdant Vikings definitely looking to level up. Who happens to be their sponsor? Back of a length, work towards mid-wicket. Good fielding from Manish Karthik there, the vice skipper. A dot ball there. And this is what the Verdant Vikings will need. Building the pressure with dot balls and try to get the batsman to do something rash. Look to go over the infield and give a chance. Wickets, early wickets would definitely make this game a lot more interesting.
It's also interesting to see who's fielding where. You generally want your best fielders in the dangerous positions. Manish at square leg, probably for the jab to square. Oh, that's the jab they were looking for. It doesn't quite carry to Manish though. Get the quick single. And Aslan as well at backward point. You see Roshan in at extra covers. So hopefully I think they're looking for the catch. Not quite sure what the plan is with this bowling from Kapish, but they aren't quite scoring as many runs as you would hope. But nonetheless, still at 12 runs and 1.3.
Giran facing Kapish now would likely look to get bat on ball and settle his nerves a bit. Once he's in, Giran is a fantastic batsman. Back of a length, cut away over point. Excellent shot for Giran, and just like that, he's off and running with a Pro Mac 4.
Excellent shot from Giran. Nice uppercut. Absolutely, from our angle, you can see the full face of the bat, and he just plays it up and over. Really, no risk shot. Kapish not quite bowling to his field there. What would the plan be if you were Kapish, Rohan? Where would you look to bowl?
I would likely to bowl a bit fuller, try to get him slashing outside off. But Giran does like the ball with a bit of width. Pulled away. Oh, and he's put down. Oh no. This could prove to be a big moment in the game. Manish is a fantastic fielder, so he would have backed himself to take that catch. Was flying quickly, a difficult chance, but you need to take those if you want to win this game.
Clearly very disappointed with himself. That was absolutely the plan, right? Get him to jab, to square. And Manish not quite up to the task on that one, but really tough chance. Given the fielder he is, though, he would have backed himself there. Another one to Manish. Does well to stop the single. 2 overs up, 17 for no loss. And the Verdant Vikings will be kicking themselves for missing that chance.
But this should give a bit of hope for the Verdant Vikings. The batsmen are definitely taking their chances, which means more catches should be coming. You can see from the body language of the skipper, they are looking positive, they are looking energetic, and they would want to win this game. We have Kiran back on strike over here, struck a lovely 4, and that pull was also very, very well struck. And you will want to capitalize over here on this chance and get a big one. Mohammad Ali steaming in, Kiran on strike. Back of a length, cut away. Kiran is especially strong square of the wicket.
It's nice to see Ali bowling to his plan here. Absolutely, he knows that he has a fielder at backward point, and so he's bowling to that. Probably going to look to get Giran to maybe nick one off the outside edge to backward point. That's how the catches usually come there. But generally kind of a conservative field. Oh, there's another chance. And that's caught. There's Giran gone. So it proves not so costly, I suppose, and look how they celebrate. Means a lot to them. Maybe there is a game yet to be played.
Yes, certainly. Giran didn't quite get that. Perhaps stuck in the pitch a little more. Mohammad Ali's pace playing a factor in it. And just a simple catch to mid-wicket, where I believe Vedant Nagpal takes a very good catch. But this may open up the floodgates, and the Verdant Vikings might want to be aggressive here to try and put on pressure on the new batsman, try to pick up a few more wickets. If it does rain, the more wickets they have, the better it favors them because of the DL calculations. And walking in, I believe we have Swarit. Correct me if I'm mistaken.
Yeah, it looks like Swarit. But yeah, interesting that you say it was an excellent catch. I think if you drop one of those, you're not hearing the end of it for the rest of your life. Certainly, it's been interesting as a fielder. You know, sometimes you get these sharp chances and you show that you're a great fielder by picking those up. And somehow when the ball kind of is looped up to you, it's like you don't quite know how to field it all. I'm sure Rohan is very familiar with that sensation given the number of catches he's dropped. What do you think, Rohan?
I have no clue what you're talking about. I've not dropped a catch this year so far.
It's been about 5 days. We'll give it a rain check.
I'm sure I'll be injured when we're fielding. Keep the streak up longer, but yeah, fielding definitely makes a difference, especially in crunch games like this. We have Swarat coming in, quite the handy batsman. We'll be looking to keep the runs taking over here and not build the pressure up. Mohammad Ali is definitely going to be fired up. Going to be steaming and hitting the deck hard here. Do you reckon we'd see a bouncer first up? One flying past his grill over here?
Yeah, I think Ali likes to pull the length back and make the batsman play square. There we go. That's the short ball that you anticipated, Rohan. Not quite as short as you might have liked, but still coming up to Swarat, gloved away. Really tough to face Ali. He's a really fast bowler and he kind of likes to get all up in your face with the ball. Swarat up to the task on that occasion. But yeah, fielding absolutely makes a difference in such crunch games. We'll be wondering, if catches like Manish's drop one will make the difference.
That's incredible bowling. Fires one up full. That is just very clever bowling from Mohammad Ali. First one back of a length, push the batsman back, and then fires one up with his feet stuck. And he unfortunately has to go for a duck here. He will be very disappointed, Swarat. And it looks like the VERDANT Vikings are definitely going to make this a very challenging chase. We're 17 for 2 in 2.4.
Excellent ball by Ali. Puts one up, and it isn't even that really full length where you can confidently drive at it, because he's getting nice bounce. You kind of have to be nimble on your feet and maybe potentially look to play that a bit later. Swarat looks to play the full drive and he misses and gets bowled. And you should have seen Roshan running around there kind of like a madman. He's obviously very excited, a lot on the line in this game. And we'll see if they can convert 17 for 2. They'll absolutely be very keen to take this game to the end and give themselves a fighting chance. Not over yet, folks.
Yes, certainly. This is definitely turned the game around. We have the skipper, Atharva Gune, coming in. Again, a very good batsman, very sensible. Likes to take his time, stick at the crease, and is someone who's very difficult to get out once he gets stuck in. And he's up into quite a difficult situation here. Mohammad Ali breathing fire. Is he going to face some chin music up here, first ball?
Yeah, Atharva Gune is generally a very sensible batsman. I don't think he generally looks to take the ball on as much as Rohan might. But it'll be interesting. I think, do you think they'll give Ali another over? Maybe the fifth over, just to try and get that extra edge?
It's quite interesting to think about. He's got his rhythm right now. He's bowling quick and he's already picked up 2 wickets. So if I was the skipper, I would like to continue with him, try to pick up maybe the extra 1 or 2 wickets and really pin the Singrisers back. Steaming in here, first ball to the skipper, full and well defended. Very well played by Atharva Gune over there, getting a nice stride in and keeping the ball out. And yeah, you really need that sort of calmness that he has over here. And that's something that's generally missing in the T20 format. You see people frantically swinging after it in situations like this, trying to score boundaries. But some good old-fashioned cricket is definitely the play over here.
Yeah, I think given the 2 wickets have fallen early, the game plan probably has to change a little bit. Probably have to be a little more cautious. Oh, there's the big swing. Dragged down leg by Ali. It's given a wide, but obviously we can see what Atharva Gune is trying to do there. That kind of ball, you absolutely want to just try and get any bat at all on it, and it'll probably swing away for 4 or 6. So good intent from Atharva Gune. He's one of those batsmen who, despite being very sensible and being very calm, he generally looks to score runs as well if the ball's bad. believe he was the second top run scorer as well in the Varsity tournament that recently concluded.
Len punched away to backward point nicely at end of an excellent over. 1 run and 1 wicket from it. I'm sorry, 2 runs and just... Oh, 1 run and 2 wickets. My mistake. Very good bowling, yeah, and it's curious to see how the captain continues here. Will he continue with the 3rd or 4th over with Mohammad Ali, or save him for the middle overs or possibly the death? They don't have a lot of runs over here, so they don't have the luxury of, you know, letting them go free. They need to keep the pressure on over here, and we see Kapish continuing over here. Another very quick bowler. And Rohan on strike will probably look to take him on. Probably look to take on the short ball. We have a deep mid wicket over there, out there, probably for the pull. Hopefully, the Verdant Vikings probably hoping he will sky one. What do you think Kapish's game plan is going to be over here?
I think he's got to support Ali. Ali is given, I think, 3 runs and 2 overs, taking 2 wickets. Kapish has to stymie the flow of runs here. You know, if a couple of dot balls and Rohan might be flustered. Oh, there's the ball, short. And Rohan gets a top edge and it goes for 4. You'd be wondering whether Kapish should be looking to bowl that kind of line and length, given his field set. He doesn't have anyone in deep third, and that's a Pro Mac 4.
Yeah, slashed at it hard and got it past short third man. But yeah, this is quite interesting. Rohan looking to go for his shots. Probably try and get as close to the target as possible, reduce the pressure. Will Kapish go fuller here is the question. With a deep square leg out here. Rohan looking positive, probably looking to strike a couple more boundaries over and put the pressure back on Kapish. That's sort of interesting to think. Now the target is just 114, but what would their approach have been in this situation if it was let's say 180 or 190? Would they go all out of here or look to rebuild? Better area over there. Punch to backward point. Aslan gathers it cleanly.
Yeah, if they were chasing 180, 190, I would not back their chances given how Ali's bowling. A couple of really good bowlers to come as well. We know Boletti can bowl, Manish can bowl. Maybe we'll see Roshan come in with a couple of trundlers. There's the fuller one. Drives well. Fielded by Roshan. I think he's going for that setup where he's trying to bowl a couple back at the length, get Rohan comfortable playing on the back foot, and then trying to push one up, catch him off guard. Rohan up to the task on that one.
I suspect he may go for slow ball over here. Hopefully it sticks in the pitch and Rohan miscues the pull or the cut straight to the fielder. Foolish. Walked away to point over there for a dot ball. And yeah, interesting strategy here by Kapish. 4 runs from the over so far. Rohan looking to be positive, looking to score runs. Looking good at the moment.
That's really, really well worked by Rohan. And it's a Pro Mac 4. Exceptional shot. Kapish bowling in the same area that he's been bowling, but threads the gap between backward point and point. Can't really fault Kapish for his bowling there. I think he's put it in the right area. Rohan just finds a way to get the runs.
Just a very good shot there. Very well timed and managed to find the gap. But here's just a good example of just not relying on brute strength, but also using timing and the pace of the ball to actually find the boundary. Fuller this time, slower ball. Punch straight to mid-off for a dot ball. And ends a good over for the Singrisers. It's 26 for 2 after 4. And the question is, will Mohammad Ali continue for this spell? And it appears he is doing so. He has been on fire. 2 overs, 3 runs for 2 wickets. We want to hopefully get 2 or 3 more wickets. Seeing the back of the skipper would definitely be a good sign for the Verdant Vikings. Defending a small total over here. Will he continue with the same game plan of hitting the deck and firing one up full later?
Yeah, you as a Singrisers batsman, you'd probably be looking to just play this guy out because he's been so exceptional, and he's clearly 3 runs, 2 wickets in 2 overs. Again hitting the deck hard. Misfield from Aslan. Miscue, you cannot afford that when you're only chasing 113. Goes for 4, a Promac 4, and you wonder whether such mistakes will cost them.
Yeah, as a bowler, you definitely don't want to see it. Bit of unevenness on the ground over here, going past Aslan, who's typically an excellent fielder. But this is really does change the context of the over. It should have been a dot ball, but now Tavagune gets 4 runs, taking the pressure off him to score. He could play out this over comfortably and they'd still be on right. Whereas if it was a dot ball, it could add to the pressure that could contribute to him doing something rash. Interesting now, Mohammad Ali coming around the wicket, perhaps trying to camp it for room and hoping he'd miscue a pull towards square leg or mid wicket.
Well bowled and well defended by Atharagune. I think Atharagune has his mind straight, and he's sure that he's just going to play out this over, as he should. They've got 30 runs on the board. They'll see out Ali and maybe can take on the later bowlers. And frankly, there's no need to take anyone on anyway. They only need 84 runs and 94 balls. Very comfortable on the scorecard. Just shouldn't look to lose a wicket here. And Ali goes for the fuller one, looks for the wicket. Very nicely flicked by Atharagune. Stopped just on the boundary. Backward square leg.
Good attempt there at the fuller one, but just stays a bit on the pads, and Atharagune works it all away well for a double. I wonder what he's attempting over here, coming from around the wicket. Is he trying to get in between the bat pad gap or looking to camp him for room? But getting the ball too straight is definitely not something they'd want, since it could run away for a 4 over there. There is a fine leg, so perhaps there's a chance for a short ball taking the top edge and going for a catch down there. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that first 4 is really costing them now. Ali has to compensate. I think he feels the pressure. He needs that wicket in this over if the Verdant Vikings are to stand a chance. And so he went for the fuller ball, but didn't quite hit his length. Absolutely, he's going to look to be aggressive, and that comes with some risks. There's the slower ball, beautifully swept by Atharagune. Just gets the single though, down to fine leg.
Yeah, this is very good batting from the skipper. No unnecessary risk taken over here, just working it away, and just like that they have 7 runs from this over. So Mohammad Ali already under pressure over here despite starting off phenomenally. And now Rohan has 2 balls left in this over. What's his approach going to be? Ali coming from over the wicket again against him, likely trying to angle it away, try to get him to nick off.
Beautifully played by Rohan, up and over. Gets 4, a Promac 4. Now it's really looking tough for the Verdant Vikings. Just a couple of stray boundaries and all of a sudden they're out of control again. 37 for 2, 4.5 overs done, last ball to come. Does Ali have a trick up his sleeve? Will he get that wicket? Will he get the dot ball? Put the pressure back on the batsman. Quick single, 38 for 2, 5 overs up.
Just a little frustration showing with the bowler, but he needs to keep in mind that they don't have too many runs to work with over here. So again, Rohan looking very good, very positive, looking to put away any loose balls that he does get. And this is the exact kind of thing that the Singrisers need. They require 76 of 90 balls at the moment. A little over 5 runs and over. And we have Aslan Jaffrey coming into the attack over here with some left arm spin. Tell us a little bit about Aslan's bowling.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that they've decided to bring the spinner on now, probably looking to get their wicket. Desperate for that wicket, actually. Aslan's a really good bowler, left arm, I think off spinner, I believe. And I think he generally doesn't quite flight it up as much as a traditional off spinner might. Generally keeps it flat-ish, though he doesn't quite rip it in as you would see, for example, with Kush. So it'll be interesting to see. I think he's probably going to try and tempt Rohan into a big shot. He has a long on back. He has a deep mid wicket. Probably going to try and tempt him into a big shot because that's what's going to get the wicket.
Interesting play here from the skipper Roshan. Probably feeling like they are playing the pace well and wanting to slow it down a bit. Aslan coming in. Back of a length and punch to covers for a dot ball. This is likely going to be his plan. Keep it back, keep it tight like Kush did, and flight one up, try to get the batsman to swipe across. It'll be interesting to see how Rohan responds to this. Will he look to go for the boundary or just rotate?
Short ball from Aslan. Worked away into the deep. They look for a quick second and they get it. Good running from the Singrisers, and can't quite afford to bowl that length. Bit too short there. Very easy for Rohan to work it away for 2 runs. And I guess the question in the back of mind is, when is he going to loop one up? And if he does loop one up, will he look to take it on, or is he going to defend it?
Loops that up, driven through the covers, past the skipper who dives at covers, and looks like it's racing away for another pro-mac boundary. Excellent batting from Rohan here, just working it past the covers, not really trying to overhit it. And the pressure's on Aslan already. Only 70 runs required for the Singrisers. The way Rohan's looking, it's very well looking like they will canter back home.
Yeah, looking quite difficult for the Singrisers team. Excuse me, for the Verdant Vikings here. Anything they're trying, Rohan's up to the task. And you wonder what Aslan's going to try now. Doesn't quite look like he has too many tricks up his sleeve. Bowls well, but the situation is against them, and he has to probably try and tempt the shot again, because there's just no way you're going to get the batsman out without tossing one up.
Back of a length, cut away, past covers again. Quite the quick outfield over there. Excellent fielding. But in roulette, he had long on. Keeps it down to 2. Oh. My apologies. That is not Aryan Voletti and long admin off. Aslan Jaffrey coming in again. Loops it up and defended to covers. Ends a very good over for the Singrisers. 8 runs from it. It is 46 for 2 after 6, and with that the power play is done. But does beg the question now: are the Verdant Vikings going to take advantage of the lifted restrictions that push the field back, or keep it up in hopes of restricting the batsman a bit more? We have the vice skipper Manish Karthik coming in, a very intelligent bowler, and someone definitely the Verdant Vikings would want to be bowling in a situation like this.
Yeah, with Manish coming in, I think there's still some hope. Of course, some really good bowlers in this team in general anyway. Aslan Jaffrey, of course, an exceptional bowler. Maybe Ali will come back in the middle overs. Right now, though, you wonder what will Manish be looking to do. Generally a very intelligent bowler, but of course the odds are completely against him and the Verdant Vikings, but I'm sure he'll fancy his chances and he'll back himself.
Manish does like keeping the ball a bit back of a length. Might try to look to get the ball to rise up against him and hopefully miscues a pull to short leg over there where Kaushal is standing. Not really spread the field much. Appears they're looking to keep the run flow curtail and try to pick up a couple of chances here. Manish running in for his first ball. Good start, but Tawaguni negotiates the ball towards covers, and it's a bit of sloppy fielding over there as they had a quick single. And This is exactly what the Verdant Vikings won't want. They won't want the Singriser batsmen to get free singles over here and keep the runs ticking.
Yeah, predictable Manish with that length. He really likes that back of the length ball. And he executes it so well. Well bowled. Batsman didn't look very comfortable playing it. Slightly fuller. Batsman looks to drive on the up. Doesn't quite get it. Quick single. Antics out in the field. But you wonder whether these singles will cost them. They add up very quickly, folks. Within a couple of overs, 48 will start looking like 78. And the game could be slipping.
Oh, he's bowled him, and that's exactly what the Verdant Vikings would now. Against a run of play, Atharva Gudi swipes across the skipper, and he's bowled. And this is what I was talking about. Manish, a very clever bowler, picks up the wicket exactly when their team needs it. And now the game not looking quite as hopeless for them as you suggested. This is exactly what they need, more wickets coming in.
Yeah, kind of uncharacteristic. I think I've not quite seen Atharva Gune play cricket like that. You know, in my opportunities I've had to play with him, he generally is a lot more cautious when he bats. But this one, I guess, he got tempted by the slightly fuller ball. And misses out. Gets bowled by Manish. Now the Verdant Vikings will probably look to be on the attack, look to be aggressive. 48 for 3, you think it's game on.
Reading some of the comments on the live stream, they're quite negative. Guys, please keep in mind that I don't even know what to say. They're quite disrespectful, actually. But yeah, I'm sure the Verdant Vikings will give their best over here and fight back. But to me, 137, whoever has been reporting these comments, please stop. It is extremely cringe, and we don't need this kind of negativity.
But there's a nice prediction out here, 60 to 70 all out, last bat, first bat, win match. I think they're saying Rohan will bat through to the end, but somehow wins the match with the last batsman to stand. That would be quite the match. Would be very entertaining indeed if that happens. Yatish comes out to bat. I remember very fondly when he used to play for my high school. Hit the winning runs in a semi-final and brought us to a finals when we hadn't made it to the finals in many years. So generally a very good bat. Haven't quite seen him play in the last few years, but he'll be looking to finish the game out for them.
Quite the interesting scenario here now with 3 wickets down and just shy of 50 runs. Rohan looking good. Will probably be looking to capitalize and bat through. Make sure the Singrisers get through to the target. But the pressure is on him now with wickets falling at the other end. Manish running in. Interesting field set over here. Oh, bounce it, and he negotiates it to backward point where it's fielded well by Aslan. I think this may be part of Manish's setup, trying to keep him playing back and then fire one up, which has been quite recurring among the pace bowlers today. Do you think this is a tactic that works generally well against Singapore batsmen?
Yeah, I think generally when you're pushed onto your back foot, you're kind of... I think the general recommendation actually when you're batting is to try and keep some weight on that front foot so you can transfer and play on the front foot and then swivel back if you need. But you know, if you face 4 or 5 balls that are on your back foot, you're kind of naturally putting more weight on that back foot. And then when the fuller one comes, you're playing almost too late at the fuller one, and then you get out. So that strategy generally I think is a very, very good one, and it tends to work, especially if executed well. But at the same time, you know, if you're looking to get runs off the slightly shorter balls, you can probably play out the fuller one when it does come without too much trouble, especially given, you know, the scorecard 49 for 3. They only need 114 to win.
That ends an excellent over from the vice skipper. That is 3 runs from the over and 1 wicket. They finish at 49 for 3 in 7 overs, and it's time for the Oakdo strategic timeout.
At Octo, we believe sports, wellness, and hobbies bring people together. Whether you're an enthusiast chasing your next goal, a coach shaping future champions, or a facility providing the space for dreams to grow. Want to try something new? From soccer to yoga to photography, we make booking fast and easy. Just a few taps and you're in. Coaching? Octo helps you build your business, manage your sessions, and connect with clients, whether you're a pro or just starting out or just want to start a side hustle. Got a space? Fill it with the Octo app. Manage bookings, grow your business, and give your athletes and coaches the best experience. Together, we bridge the gap between learners, coaches, and facilities, creating a seamless connection where everyone wins. Learners get the best experiences, coaches get more opportunities, and facilities are always in demand. Ready to get moving? Download the app today. Octo, your world of sports, hobbies, and wellness connected.
Appears like a bit of rain at the moment. Play was going to be suspended due to this. The game in a really interesting state right now. 49 for 3 after 7. The Singrisers acquiring 65 from 13 and 5 runs on over. But with the wickets that have fallen recently, the DLS method will definitely come into play. And it appears we're looking to calculate right now what the DLS pass score would be. The Singrisers definitely will not be happy to have lost 3 wickets this early. Appears to be just a passing shower. Based on what I'm checking at the moment, it appears the Singrisers are ahead with a DLS pass score of 41, being 49 if the game was called off at the moment. The Singrisers would win by 8 runs. But the Verdant Vikings would likely want to continue, and with being a passing shower, it's unlikely to have any reduced overs. But the rain may play an impact on the playing conditions. What do you think, Arya?
Yeah, I think the rain could make it difficult to bat. Ball may skid on a bit more. And perhaps the outfield gets a bit slower from the wetness. In general, actually, in Singaporean grounds, sometimes the grass is not cut as fine as you would expect it to be. And so sometimes you get these puddles that are really difficult to field on as well. I think Rohan will remember fondly playing at NUS, where sometimes we literally have to run through sludge, quite literally, when we're fielding. Makes for quite the adventure, but also a very dangerous one at that.
We've had quite the adventures in NUS trying to dry up the ground, which feels more like water than grass. But CSC is one of the better grounds in Singapore, so it should not be too much of an issue. And the rain does not appear to be too bad. So perhaps a 5 to 10 minute break until the rain clears, and then we will continue.
An opportune moment for me to discuss what I've been meaning to so far. Rohan Shetty's incoming arranged marriage. Ladies, perhaps gentlemen, I'm not sure. But generally I think ladies If you're interested, PhD student in, is it biology? PhD student in plant biology, I believe, at the National University of Singapore, educated in the United States from Karnataka. Very nice, smart young boy with a very bright future, in my opinion. Please feel free to hit him up through the YouTube comment section if you're interested. He's quite the prospect, as they would say.
Rain appears to be clearing at the moment. And Ariel, unfortunately, you guys are welcome to visit his funeral. He's not going to make it past today. But DLS appears to really be favoring the Singrisers at the moment. If 5 overs are lost, they would require 44 runs from the next 8 overs. So it appears they've leaked a bit too many runs in the first 7 overs of the year. But the wet outfield may end up favoring them in this circumstance. So it's posed in quite an interesting situation over here, the game.
Yeah, actually, given that the pass score is, I believe, 41 right now, that's quite interesting. Actually, I would have thought that the pass score might be slightly lower, but 7 overs have actually flown by, and they've only got 49 on the board. Absolutely, Verdant Vikings will be looking and hoping that the rain stops as soon as is possible, so they can get back out on that field without any reduction in play. But if they do have the full 20 overs, I think they might fancy their chances. They have to score like 60.
A little discussion over there between Atharva Pradhan, the organizer of this tournament, and the Empire. Likely trying to get this game moving along. Not really heavy rain per se, more of a drizzle. But still, not the typical condition that people want to play cricket in. Appears the rain has subsided and the players are returning to the field. Play should resume soon. Will be interesting to see the change in conditions, how it affects the approach of the batsman, with the outfield being wet and the ball picking up a bit of it. Do you think the ball softening up would be an issue for the batsman in this chase?
Yeah, it'll definitely be harder to play, but also a factor to take note is, as a bowler, you don't really want to bowl with a wet ball, and sometimes it's going to be really hard to dry the ball because of the outfield conditions. It slips out of your hand, and the odd no ball that gets sent for 6, that can really change the flow of the game, especially given that they're only chasing 113. So definitely the difficulty is going to be present for both sides. Bowlers, gripping the ball, and batsmen facing a slightly softer ball and probably a slower outfield as a result of the rain. Cover's coming off now, though.
I don't believe there's any reduction in overs. It was a relatively short break. Should continue with the chase as is. 65 required of 13 overs at the moment. Pitch doesn't appear to be too wet at the moment. Shouldn't play too much of an impact, but we'll have to wait and see what happens when the bowling begins.
It's funny, I think the first instinct I had once the covers came off was to check the side of the pitch. In a lot of grounds, I think CSC is pretty well maintained, but in a lot of grounds, I'm mainly thinking about the NUS one, where right next to the pitch, the field is pretty uneven, and so a lot of water tends to form up there and sort of create these puddles right next to the pitch. It's quite interesting to field in close, especially after a short rain spell, if you're fielding at NUS or other grounds where water forms up right next to the pitch, because you see the ball off the ground and it just splashes a lot of water, and then at the same time you still have to field the ball. So fortunately CSC doesn't appear to be like that. Looks generally very playable, conditions look perfectly fine, so game on.
reverse play is resuming over here. And we have the new bowler coming in. Appears to be a bit of spin over here, bowling to Yatish. We have Pranam Maheshwari continuing after the outdoor strategic timeout and the rain break. Quite an interesting scenario over here. 65 required from 13 overs, 7 wickets in hand. And the Verdant Vikings will now back themselves to hopefully pick up a few more wickets in this crucial middle overs phase.
Good start from Pranam Maheshwari. Sort of tosses it up slightly, probably trying to tempt the shot. And you can see the power play field coming into play. A lot more fielders out in the deep, long on, long off, deep mid. Oh, there he's gone, right after the break. Yatish bowled, tries to come down the track and looks to play straight, completely miscues it. 49 for 4. This is absolutely what the Verdant Vikings would have wanted. 113 on the board, and they're saying we can defend it.
Certainly, this is definitely against a run of play over here. Seemed to miss the length and was beaten by the flight. And this is very good bowling over here by Pranav Maheshwari. Tossing it up, which is something that people generally don't do in T20s, being afraid of getting hammered off the ground. But this is exactly what they need. Another wicket down, and now even more pressure on Rohan, the side batsman. And the new batsman is Tianesh, who bowled rather well.
Yeah, Tianesh coming off a bit of a break from cricket. Bats a little bit like Virat Kohli actually, if you look at his style. Really likes that cover drive. And probably you wonder what the conversation between Rohan and Tianesh is. I suspect Rohan's just telling him to be a little calm, look for the singles and doubles. And Rohan will probably look to take the bowlers on. But always after coming from a break, you always have to be cautious, right? Because you've just sat out for a long time. You're not quite warmed up and you're not quite seeing the ball as well. So maybe not quite the smartest decision from Yatish to look to come down the track. Second ball back from the break. Probably would have liked to face a few more balls, get more confident before he looks to take on the big shot.
That is a good point, but it's also quite curious over here. We don't have a field change. Field is still out. Oh, looks like there may be a bit of a field change. No, just adjusting the fielder a bit. But it is curious that they're keeping the fielders deep over here. You'd think they'd want to stop the new batsman from getting easy singles. And oh, very good ball. Very, very good start from Pranav Maheshwari over here. No runs off his 3 balls so far, and this is really putting the pressure on them. And this is an interesting thing in T20 where just a single over can just completely swing the momentum. Fired in, works it towards square leg. Oh, bit sloppy from Kapish over there and goes past the infield. The skipper's not looking very happy over there. And that brings up the 50 for the Singrisers. 50 for 4. Would have preferred not to lose so many wickets, but definitely still on track in terms of run rate over here. And we have a set batsman Rohan on strike. And will Rohan look to take on the ball over here, try and upset his rhythm, or is he going to look to play sensible?
There's the tossed up ball. You really think he's trying to get him to play straight. He bowled that slower, looped it up even more. I think he really wants to tempt Rohan into playing down straight. But Rohan just casually plays it down to short mid and grabs a quick single. Field is very conservative for the new batsman. Gets him driving. Dot ball. That's the over. Great stuff from Pranav Maheshwari. 1 run, 1 wicket. 2 runs, 1 wicket, excuse me. And the Verdant Vikings have had a dream start to the second half of this game.
referee appears to be continuing over here. Some more spin. You have to wonder if the rain has affected how the ball's playing off this pitch. Is it skidding a bit more, which may induce some false shots. And it appears there's not much of a field change, still playing a bit on the defensive side. Probably don't want to concede too many boundaries over here, especially to the set batsman Ron. Try to get him off strike and target the new batsman T20, who's looking a bit scratchy at the moment.
Well, he's not Tamil Nadu's hero for nothing. Let's see what he pulls up. Big appeal for LBW. Umpire says nothing. But Aslan looks to toss it up also, but he kind of bowls a quicker one. It is fuller, but he does try and get it quicker than say Pranav Maheshwari, who is clearly looking to bring the pace down in his bowling. But this over from Aslan will be very crucial. I think the earlier one from him, not quite up to the mark, 8 runs off it. T20 looks to sweeps well. Misfield from Kaushal at fine leg. They grab 2 as a result. Cannot afford those mistakes. High stakes, mistakes in the field, and that's the game.
Aslan probably trying to fire one, take advantage of the wet ball to probably get them LBW bowl as if. But quite a defensive field over here. We have square leg and mid wicket out for the new batsman, and that's a good comeback there, getting the batsman blocking. We'll hopefully want to keep this under 5 runs and over. If they can get a couple of quiet overs like this, they can hopefully build up the pressure and force the batsman to do something rash. Tossed up a bit more, again blocked, top part of the bat. This is very good bowling from Aslan, keeping it tight. Perhaps T20 may attempt to use his feet here to try and clear the infield.
Oh! Very tough chance. Almost caught and bowled. Just about dropped. I don't quite know if it carried or if it just bounced ahead of Aslan. But absolutely, I was thinking the same thing about T20 looking to use his feet. Looks a little flustered. You wonder whether he's going to try and release. No, plays out the over, and it's 54 for 4 after 9.
Yep, another tight over. Good bowling there from Aslan, really putting the pressure up. And this is what we want, putting up dot balls, getting the equation down. It's now 60 of 66. Ideally, they'd want to bring it a bit above 6 and over and try to choke them out. But Rohan looking really good over here. Has played some wonderful shots so far in this innings, and would want to continue on and see this run chase through for the Singrisers. We have Pranav Maheshwari continuing with the second over here. A fantastic first over, starting with a wicket off a second ball, and would hopefully want to get the set batsman here to put pressure on the Singrisers.
There he looks for that release shot, Rohan. You can tell the pressure's kind of building. And I'm sure Pranav will be very happy with that. He gets 5 balls at the new batsman, T20. T20 looking a little unsettled here, looking a little in trouble. You wonder what he's going to try and do. You think he'll use his feet maybe? Let's see. Bit faster from Pranav, tries to rip one in. Nicely worked into the deep by T20. This is where you wonder whether this field set is not so ideal to the new batsman, allowing him easily to get off strike. In the deep leg side region, you have a lot of fielders out deep, so not much of a risk for T20 to just try and work one down there. Even if he miscues it slightly, it's probably not going to reach the fielder.
And on the wicket now, tossed up. Work through mid wicket, very good batting from Rohan here. Perhaps the idea is that they don't want to concede easy boundaries, thinking they may just pick up the singles anyways. So they want to build up the pressure in that regard. T20 would feel like he missed out on the previous one, a bit short. But staying on the leg side, could have worked away for a boundary. But good fielding out there. tosses this one up, and a swing, and it's an excellent shot. And we get our first Joe Tech maximum of the innings. And that was a release shot he was looking for. This settled the nerves a bit for Tianish. Absolutely middle that and flew well over long off.
Yeah, a bit too full on that occasion. Tianish doesn't have to use his feet, just needs to reach the ball. Pranav attempts a comeback. Tianish up to the task. Just nudges it for the single out deep. Manish collects it, gets the single. Now the pressure is all the way back on the Verdant Vikings. This is the problem with setting a low total. You could look down and out and you hit 1, 2 sixes, 1, 2 fours, and all of a sudden the game's back in your hands as a batting team.
Fires it and works it away. Good fielding out there. Well, feel fortunate it didn't find the gap over there. Could have definitely rolled away for a boundary. Pranav would be disappointed with that second over. 11 runs on it. No, we did. Bhaskar looking a bit more settled now. 49 runs required from 10 overs. Game definitely in the favor of the Singrisers despite the 4 wickets down. And appears Aslan Jaffrey is continuing for his third over here. No one will consider he does not have to take any risks.
Yeah, you wonder when they'll bring, say, Manish back onto the attack. I suspect after this over, they'll switch back to pace. Had a couple of spinners bowling now, and it's with relative success, barring the previous over. But probably will go back to pace after this over. Then tosses it up, good length, good line, worked away to a deep long off for the single.
Really not much pressure on the Singrisers here. 48 required of 59. No need to take any significant risk. Can just work this through with singles. Oh! Appears he may have got a bit of bat on that or maybe down leg. Tianish should definitely consider himself lucky over there. The Verdant Vikings with a very confident appeal. And this is exactly the thing I was talking about. No risks are really required at this stage. They can do it with singles over here.
Aslan is bowling really very cleverly, varying the pace but not quite in a predictable way. The previous ball where Tianish nearly got out, much slower. Tianish playing much earlier than he should be. And getting surprised by the pace there. This one slightly quicker. Tianish works it straight over the bowler for the single. Bit too short on that occasion. Rohan easily works it into the deep where Manish collects.
Can't help but feel like those extra 15 to 20 runs that they could have got towards the end might have mattered now. The Verdant Vikings definitely would have appreciated in this situation. Tianish looking a bit more settled now compared to before. Flight it up. Oh, he swings at it but gets the inside half of the bat. Looking to play shots here, Tianish. Perhaps a chance. The Verdant Vikings sense a chance coming.
Yeah, absolutely. In a lot of these tight, low run scoring games, you kind of wonder last 10, 15 runs that you could have put up with the tail. Those things tend to add up and make a difference. But let's see what Aslan has with the ball. Slightly shorter, more defensive bowling. Voletti out in the deep collects. Believe that's the over. The score is 70 for 4 in 11 overs. 44 runs needed in 54 balls. And as predicted, Manish back into the attack.
The Verdant Vikings will hope their vice captain can pick up a wicket over here. That was quite the alliteration. But on looking side, taking his time. Tianish with that excellent 6 over long off. Pressure's back on the Verdant Vikings over here. Not much runs to work with, just 44 runs left to get in 9 overs. But they'll hope if they can pick up 1 or 2 wickets here, they can put the pressure back on them. And this game appears like it may go down to the wire. But it'll rain again. This may play an impact on the conditions. Ball probably skidding through, but also quicker outfields.
Slight drizzle, but they are playing through it. Manish bowling his characteristic slight back of the length ball. Rohan defends. You wonder whether they'll be pulling the covers again. Looks like it's getting slightly heavier, but I think they'll probably play through it for now. Getting heavier now. They're going to pull the covers for sure. You have to get off the field now, I imagine. And yes, umpires pulling down the stumps.
And back to an Otko strategic timeout.
At Octo, we believe sports, wellness, and hobbies bring people together. Whether you're an enthusiast chasing your next goal, a coach shaping future champions, or a facility providing the space for dreams to grow. Want to try something new? From soccer to yoga to photography, we make booking fast and easy. Just a few taps and you're in. Coaching? Octo helps you build your business, manage your sessions, and connect with clients, whether you're a pro or just starting out or just want to start a side hustle. Got a space? Fill it with the Octo app. Manage bookings, grow your business, and give your athletes and coaches the best experience. Together, we bridge the gap between learners, coaches, and facilities, creating a seamless connection where everyone wins. Learners get the best experiences, coaches get more opportunities, and facilities are always in demand. Ready to get moving? Download the app today. Octo, your world of sports, hobbies, and wellness connected.
Welcome to Alpha Omega Wellness and Recovery, where pain relief meets performance. When you step into this space, it's all about your recovery. Whether you are an athlete, an office worker, or someone dealing with tightness, we are here to help you move, feel, and live better. Whether you're lifting weights, dancing, or playing sports, better flexibility means better movement. And we are here to manage your body's needs. Proper stretching promotes better blood flow to your muscles. This means faster recovery, reduced soreness, and better performance overall. One session at a time. Your recovery starts here today, so book your sessions now.
Okay, it appears play will resume shortly. The stumps are back on. The rain appears to have passed, but it's still quite overcast at the moment. And you have to wonder if this interruption again would lead to another wicket of year. The Verdant Vikings would definitely be hoping so.
Yeah, I think as long as there's no reduction in the number of overs, Verdant Vikings will be very happy with the odd interruption. it's really hard for batsmen to go off and on and off and on again and again. And they have to each time come back and get their eye in. Certainly they'll be looking to target Dhyanesh, I'm sure. Rohan has been batting much longer and he looks more set. But maybe a little time off the field and they become slightly unsettled, and the odd couple of dot balls pile up, pressure builds. You'd hope that there would be the odd bad shot, and the Verdant Vikings would be right back in it.
Continue. Rain appears to have eased up, but does also appear to be getting heavier. It appears DLS might eventually come into play during the situation here. When he shuns in, full ball, and he drives it towards wideish long off. Ball skids along for just a single. Those 4 wickets may end up playing an impact of here depending on how many overs are lost, but at the moment, Singisers are definitely still on top, but the Verdant Vikings will believe they can pull this back.
Manish is pulling his run up shorter actually, and the Singisers are getting ready to pull the covers on. He is absolutely looking to get a few more balls in before the covers are pulled back on. Manish does that really well actually. He can bowl an over in less than 2 minutes and be done with it before you know it. That's going to be what he's looking to do here.
The Singers are actually still ahead of the DLS power score. They're about 7 runs ahead. So the Verdant Vikings would definitely be looking to bowl dot balls into the pressure up. Excellent bowling there, but edged away. And a misfield there. Manish very frustrated after bowling so well. This is definitely what the Verdant Vikings don't want to see. We end the over at 76 for 4 in 12 overs.
Can't afford those mistakes. Manish bowling really well in that over. Doesn't quite turn out as expected. Looks like they're bringing Vedant Nagpal on, which is interesting. I think he bowls spin if I'm not mistaken. He bowls off spin.
That boundary may end up costing the Verdant Vikings. We are Nagpal coming in, right arm off spin from around the wicket. Fires it short, but beats the batsman. Good stop. Dot ball. Dot balls are going to be very precious here. The Verdant Vikings would like to minimize the runs. A wicket over here would be golden because it would totally change the DLS equation. Dinesh should be careful not to throw it away here. Toss it up. Slams it. But just a very good shot. And that's another Jotek 6. And it appears Dinesh is determined to finish this game as quickly as possible.
Yeah, it looks very difficult now, especially with DLS coming into play probably. In their haste to bowl a couple of overs, it looks like they're bowling Fuller, trying to get the wicket. Getting sent for 6 by Dhyanesh though. quick single. We have the cameraman Divya here with us. He's going to say a few words. He does not want to talk, but he's going to anyway.
Oh, what a shot. Is that a 4? It's a 4.
Not what the Verdant Vikings want to see. Edged away over the keeper. I have to question the length though. Definitely firing it a bit too short. Letting the batsman swing his arms, and with it skidding along, ball just flies past the keeper for a boundary. I wish outfields were as quick as this all the time.
Yeah, Rohan would absolutely wish that he's what the children would call a washed batter. That is 6. That is 6.5. Short ball. You wonder what Vedant Nagpal is thinking here. A weird celebration here. I think that's a 50. 50 from Rohan. Some of the Jadeja celebrations coming out. Oh, it is Jadeja celebration. Bro, that...
Can confirm that is not the Jadeja celebration. Look more like something Riyan Parag would do.
Yeah, the first half. I think the second half was absolutely Jadeja celebration. I'm willing to bet 50 rupees.
I don't think you can afford 50 rupees. Flicked away to square leg. Capiche, and another quick single over there. And they need 20. They need just 20 runs from 7 overs right now. And you'd imagine that the Singrisers have this in the bag. But never say never. Manish Karthik coming in. Perhaps he could pull off some magic this over.
Get Ali. Get Ali.
Atharva Pradhan, the tournament organizer, trying to give advice. Get Ali to bowl is what he's saying. You wonder, why is Ali not bowling? Atharva actually one of the batsmen for the NUS cricket team, and he doesn't even back his vice skipper, Manish. Almost a chance actually, just dropped short of Aslan. Clearly Atharva Pradhan's judgment kind of poor. That's why he's not the vice captain of the team, Manish is.
Arya is very familiar with poor judgment considering his own. But Manish will be running in, hoping to create something over here. Getting a wicket right now would completely change the equation. Chips it, but lands in no man's land. But this would be an encouraging sign for Manish. Batsmen taking their chances, and hopefully one goes straight into the hand or beats the batsman. Manish with the short run up. Manish running in, Tianesh on strike. Been looking good since that boundary. And just drops it to backward square. Works a single. Very smart batting over here. Not too many runs left to get. Each single is just going to chip away at the target. And there's not much the Verdant Vikings can do against that. Manish will have to be very careful with his areas here. Would want to avoid staying too far on the legs with 3 fielders in on the leg side. Would just fly away to the boundary over there. Goes full, outside off. Batsman lets it go. And there really isn't much that Rohan has to do over here. About 3 runs and over. Can afford to give away a few dot balls now that they've got so many boundaries. Back of line, pull but doesn't connect it off the toe. And another dot ball. Ball not coming up particularly well onto the bat. Perhaps a bit of the rain on the pitch affecting it. What's Manish do here? What's his plan? Goes back of a length. Stays low but negotiated well by Rohan for another dot ball. And with that, it's the over. A very good over from Manish, but he's going to need something from the other end to happen over here. The equation at the moment is 18 of 36 balls. Heavily in the favor of the Singrisers.
Yeah, you'd think they're in real trouble here. They're frankly defending 18 of 36. You probably want 2-3 wickets in an over to stand a chance. Ali coming back. They're hoping for some magic here. but I'm sure what's running on in Tanish's mind and even Rohan's mind will be just look to play him out. And there we go, first ball played out. Looked like it could probably be driven for a single or two, but I don't think he's going to look to take that risk. So Ali is going to look for something. He needs a magic ball to get the victory.
Ali coming in has been the pick of the bowlers today. Is he gonna bang it in? Slower ball and missed. An appeal from the Verdant Vikings. Looking for a wicket over here.
Yeah, I think the game is dead in the water. Ali will have to produce some magic. I imagine he's going to look for a Yorker at some point in this over. He's going to look for that ball where Tianish is forced to play and maybe gets out. But that's not the ball. Really nicely played by Tianish. Fielded in the deep, in fine leg by Kaushal. And that's the name of the game here, right? When you have such a low total, only 17 more runs to go, I believe. Literally nothing to be done. Ali can bowl his heart out, but all the batsmen have in their minds is just don't get out to him and wait for the next bowler to come along.
But never say never. A couple of wickets here could definitely turn the game around. Batsmen want to be careful not to throw the wicket away. Slow ball. Muscle straight. Throw for Manish, but misses out. And yeah, this is all they need to do, just slowly chip away. If they get the loose ball and manage to score the boundary, it's just gonna make it that much easier for them. The Singers is 100% on top over here and are looking to cruise their way into the finals. The Verdant Vikings looking a bit disappointed right now, and they should be. Ali around the wicket. Bouncer, chipped and lands in no man's land.
Game's all but said and done. I think one more ball to come this over, 99 for 4. You would think that if you had to bet your life savings on one team, it's looking like the Singrisers.
I'd advise against Arya gambling for that exact reason. Not that he has many life savings to gamble. Ali. Perhaps rethinking his plan. Probably going to go for the Yorker here. Try to slip one past the batsman and hopefully pick up that wicket. They just need the one wicket. The Verdant Vikings will still believe they can pull this game out. Back of a length, pulled away towards cow corner. Well fielded out there. Keeps it down to just one. No, Manish.
You'd have thought that was going to be the Yorker. Not quite. They see out Ali and that looks like the end of the Verdant Vikings chances. Manish going to bowl again. You wonder in what situation do you think, Rohan, that the Verdant Vikings will be able to defend this total? It literally seems like practically impossible to me no matter how I look at it.
It definitely isn't a good situation for them, but again, wickets are going to make the difference here. And you can't help but think that the Verdant Vikings will hope that would have wished those extra 15 or 20 runs they could have got at the back end. Would have definitely changed the equation here, but looking very difficult at the moment. The dot balls would definitely help. Hopefully a couple of tied overs to bring the run rate back up in their favor, but they are going to need wickets here. There's simply no other way. 14 of 29 is very manageable on a ground like this, on AstroTurf especially. Chips it, but in no man's land, and each run is just another nail in the coffin for the Verdant Vikings. No risk required here from the batsmen at all from the Singrisers, and they will definitely see themselves in the finals. Who do you think they will be facing in the finals if they do make it?
I think the jig is up. I have to confess, I don't even know the names of all the teams in this tournament. I have not really been following it. But I think it'll be an interesting final. the team with Suryansh in it. I'm not sure what the name of that team is. Malayan Mavericks, thank you, Rohan. They will probably fancy their chances given how he batted. My goodness, what a batsman he is. 120 off 30 odd balls. I remember looking at the scorecard and thinking, wow, this is a batsman. 4-6, 4-6. And yeah, you should think they'd fancy their chances, especially if a guy like Suryansh gets going. But interesting to see top bowlers like Manish in such situations. You wonder what their plan is, what's going on in their head. Definitely looking to restrict the flow of runs, getting them to play on the back foot, getting them to play on the offside, but just does not have a lot to work with, right? When you're bowling to really good batsmen, you just can't do much if you're only defending 12 more runs.
Punch it in the gap and well fielded there for just a single. This is sort of the downside to an overly aggressive approach, because you can end up with a score far below par and then your bowlers just simply don't have enough to work with. Like I said, T20s are not all about just, going from ball one. You also have to consider what is a good total on this card. And you can't help but wonder if they made 140 or 150, would they have any flicks it away? And that looks like it's the game done. Dinesh is looking to finish it in a hurry. That's his third Jotech maximum. And he's up to 31 right now. And with that, the over ends. It's 109 for 4 with just 5 runs required in 4 overs. And you have to say that this game is definitely the Singisers. And the Verdant Vikings would require a miracle over here to pull it back.
Really, really good shot from Dinesh. When he gets going, he's a really good batsman. You can see how he brings his bat through. Hits it so clean. Perhaps not quite the ball Manish was looking for. Probably was looking to get it further up along. Try and get that wicket. Try and get him bowled. Not quite rising up to the occasion. Kapish coming back into the attack. Game looks done and dusted, folks. He needs... if he manages 6 wickets on the trot here, then maybe they win, but otherwise it's 5 runs needed, 4 overs to come, all but done.
Kapish coming in, will hope to pick up a wicket soon, and this ball will be important. Charges ahead, full toss. It's a 1 bounce 4 and the scores are tied. That is pretty much the game over at this point. Excellent shot from Rohan again, gets up Pro Mac 4. Full toss on the leg side, just works it away past fine leg for a boundary. And with just 1 run to win, the Verdant Vikings have no recourse over here. Unless, like Arya said, just a bundle of wickets with them scoring no more runs. But unfortunately seems highly unlikely with how well Rohan has batted here. Batting on 60 at the moment. Has showed incredible temperament, playing some wonderful shots and taking about calculated risks. Kapish comes in, back of a length, block, 2 bit off, and they work the single, and that is the game. The Singisers win comfortably with 6 wickets to spare and by over 3 overs. I'm Rohan Shetty, thank you for having me, and I'm here with Arya Vijay.
Thank you, folks.
Do not come to Alpha Omega. Seriously. And here's why. Because you will feel so relaxed. Because you will feel so good and get addicted. Because they make you so flexible and injury-free. And what's next? Superpowers? So avoid Alpha Omega if you don't want to feel good and flexible every day.
At Octo, we believe sports, wellness, and hobbies bring people together. Whether you're an enthusiast chasing your next goal, a coach shaping future champions, or a facility providing the space for dreams to grow. Want to try something new? From soccer to yoga to photography, we make booking fast and easy. Just a few taps and you're in. Coaching? Octo helps you build your business, manage your sessions, and connect with clients, whether you're a pro or just starting out or just want to start a side hustle. Got a space? Fill it with the Octo app. Manage bookings, grow your business, and give your athletes and coaches the best experience. Together, we bridge the gap between learners, coaches, and facilities, creating a seamless connection where everyone wins. Learners get the best experiences, coaches get more opportunities, and facilities are always in demand. Ready to get moving? Download the app today. Octo, your world of sports, hobbies, and wellness connected.